Chapter 381. Boom. Zheng Hong pushed back Shang Wuji, whose eyes were red, with a single palm strike. What's going on? What was going on? Your high nether sex people are all crazy, all crazy. Zheng Hong roared. Shang Wuji's eyes were bloodshot. Months of resentment, anger, and grievances were all mixed together, and it was extremely chaotic. In his eyes, there was only Zheng Hong's death. As long as Zheng Hong died, everything would be solved. Everything would be solved. Kill! Shang Wuji roared as he charged forward. However, Zheng Hong wasn't someone that Shang Wuji could defeat in a short period of time. You mad dog! Zheng Hong's eyes were filled with anger. The battle continued. The loud sounds caused all the cultivators in Worry-Free City to look up at the sky, watching the people fighting in the sky. Ah, that's the city lord. Is that Shang Wuji? How is that possible? Am I seeing things? Isn't the Triyu sect like a family? How did this happen? Are you crazy? They're all in the Divine Realm. Divine Realm warriors from the Sanyu sect? Are they all crazy? The people in the city all looked up at the sky in confusion. However, at that moment, no one stepped forward to help. However, the Qi Realm and Essence Realm cultivators of the three sects noticed it. People from the High Serenity sect. Beat him up. Central Serenity sect. Bullshit City Lord, Sect Master will definitely get rid of him. The four battle groups grew larger and larger. In the blink of an eye, a large number of Qi Realm and Essence Realm disciples from the three sects joined the battle. The entire Worry-Free City was filled with earth-shattering sounds of battle. Boom! 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 Battles were taking place in all directions, explosions were taking place in all directions, and dazzling light from the collisions of various magical treasures could be seen everywhere. King of Hell's Palace. ZZ looked at the battles that were going on all around her like fireworks, and a wonderful feeling welled up in her heart. Flowers blossomed and explosions erupted all around. The entire Worry-Free City began to explode. Feng Tairan smiled bitterly. I finally know why you're not afraid of ZZ's curse. Huh? Everyone looked at Feng Tairan. Wherever you go, you're even crazier than ZZ. We wouldn't even have dared to imagine such a huge explosion in the city. But now, it was right in front of him. No matter where you go, you can cause trouble. Feng Tairan said with a bitter smile. ZZ smiled. Feng Tairan was praising Yan Chuan as if he was praising himself. It's not over yet. Be careful. Just in case. Yan Chuan shook his head and smiled. Just in case. What's there to worry about now? The Triyu sect has been fighting amongst themselves, and now that they're all injured, it's too late for them to come to their senses. All 11 of us are at full strength, and we can wipe them out in one fell swoop. King Yi Mu said confidently. Shaking his head, Yan Chuan did not say anything. Until the very end, Yan Chuan would never let his guard down. In the battle between the 8 great deity realms, the one who was having the most trouble was Sect Master Yu. He was caught off guard at the start. Even though he didn't die from the sneak attack, he was severely injured. Coupled with the fact that he was being chased around by a celestial realm cultivator, it had been a few hours since then, and he seemed to have reached his limit. His left arm was chopped off in a moment of carelessness. The eyes of the Divine Realm martial artist who was chasing him were bloodshot. Go to hell. No, I can't die. Sect Master Xia Yu's face was filled with fear. Boom. Unleashing the last of his potential, he forced his opponent away. Sect Master Xia Yu soared into the sky in fear. I can't die. Sect Master Xia Yu rushed out of Worry-Free City and escaped. Rumble. As he soared into the sky, a storm blew over. Sect Master Xia Yu, who was about to rush out, was unable to continue flying. Chapter 382. How can this be? Why is there an array here? Sect Master Xiao shouted. Give me your life. A voice came from behind. No, an array. Why is there an array here? Why can't we go out? Sect Master Xiao fled in fear. Kaboom! The entire carefree city was filled with explosions. The fog in the sky was thick. Anyone who rushed up would be suppressed by a huge force. An array. Why are there arrays everywhere? How can this be? The entire city is sealed. Sect Master Xiao's heart skipped a beat. It was like a bucket of cold water had been poured over his head. Sect Master Xiao suddenly thought of a terrifying possibility. Had they been tricked? Had Sanyu sect been tricked? As he fled, he looked at the city. The city was exploding and countless Dharma treasures were colliding. And these people were all from Sanyu sect. All of them. Were they from the Great River sect? No. Demon-controlling sect? No. We've been tricked, Sanyu sect has been tricked. Sect Master Xiao suddenly shouted. Screw you, die. The immortal state expert behind him stabbed again. Boom. Sect Master Xiao's legs were cut off by the immortal state expert behind him. Ah! With a scream, Sect Master Xiao fell down the mountain. Boom! When he landed, Sect Master Xiao suddenly felt something. Buzz! Sect Master Xiao's body suddenly emitted a yellow light. The yellow light rushed out of his body and exploded. Merit pool. My merit pool has been destroyed. Destroyed? Sect Master Xiaoyu exclaimed. Suddenly, countless thoughts flashed through his mind. 40,000 mercenaries? Only them, it must be them. Yan Chuan. It's Yan Chuan. Sect Master Xiao exclaimed. At this moment, Sect Master Triyu finally understood. 1 year ago, everything started from 1 year ago. At that time, Triyu sect was united against the outside world and treated each other like family. But now, lying on the ground, Sect Master Xia finally understood what was going on as he watched the battle that had broken out all over the city and Triyu sect killing each other. Yan Chuan, it's Yan Chuan. Sect Master Xiaoyu exclaimed. Go to hell. The divine realm warrior who descended from the sky didn't listen to him at all. Boom. The sword slashed Xiao's sect master into pieces. Even in death, Sect Master Xiaoyu refused to believe this hopeless truth. Was the mighty Triyu sect about to be killed by Yan Chuan? Bang! The immortal realm expert who killed Sect Master Xiaoyu instantly soared into the sky. Raising his sword, he headed towards the battlefield where Zhenghong and Shang Wuji were fighting. Shang Wuji's entire body was covered in blood as he was ruthlessly suppressed by Zhenghong. Sect leader, let me help you. The divine realm expert roared. Boom! Boundless sword light slashed out. 2 against 1, Shang Wuji's disadvantage was instantly reversed. Why are you here? Zhenghong's expression changed. One more God Realm warrior. Didn't that mean that another God Realm expert had died? Ah, Sect Master. The sorrowful roar of the underworld sect came from afar. Sect Master Xiaoyu is dead. Zhenghong and Shang Wuji were both shocked. No matter what, the 3 of them used to be very close. Now that one of them had died, their hearts tightened. No, my merit. My merit? The person in the distance shouted again. Zhenghong and Shang Wuji both felt that something was wrong. However, they couldn't stop now that the battle had reached such a stage. Kill! 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 The battle was getting more and more intense. After the stage of killing each other was over, everyone was exhausted and started to be killed by each other. Corpses fell from the sky one after another. Countless commoners were shocked to the core. Chapter 383. Caw! Caw! Caw. The sound of a rooster crowing could be heard from Carefree City. A ray of dawn pierced through the darkness and shone on the entire city. It was daybreak. At daybreak, people could see clearly that the bodies of the Triu sect experts were covered in blood. Boom! Zheng Hong, who was in the middle of the battle, suddenly emitted a yellow light. The yellow light exploded with a bang. Merit? My merit? Zheng Hong exclaimed as he forced back two immortal state experts. Shang Wuji, who was covered in blood and blinded in his left eye, also looked at Zheng Hong in shock. Merit pool? Shang Wuji exclaimed. Boom! The surface of Shang Wuji's body also emitted a yellow light. The yellow light then dissipated. My merit? Shang Wuji's expression changed. My Shangyu sect was uprooted. My Shangyu sect was uprooted. The remaining 7 immortal state experts all stopped fighting. Impossible, impossible! Zheng Hong exclaimed. How did this happen? Shang Wuji's expression also turned ugly. They weren't stupid. Seeing that the people fighting around them were all from the Triu sect, they immediately understood. Is it the 40,000 troops? It must be. Shang Wuji's expression changed. Demon-controlling sect. Dai sect? King Mai. Yan Chuan. Zheng Hong was enraged. Clang! 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 10 rays of sword light shot into the sky. These were the sword lights of an immortal state expert at his peak. They were extremely powerful and weren't something that the heavily injured people could withstand. Moreover, they were all attacking an immortal state expert from the Triu sect. Zheng Hong didn't have any sword light. The other 4 immortal state experts all had 2 or 3 sword lights attacking one. Ah! 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 4 heavily injured and exhausted immortal state experts were killed in the blink of an eye. No! Junior brother! Zheng Hong and Shang Wuji exclaimed. Their sect was uprooted and the immortal state experts in front of them were almost all dead. Whoosh! 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 Figures flew into the sky. Everything had come to an end. King Yi Mu and the other 9 immortal state warriors stared coldly at the 3 severely injured immortal state warriors. King Mai. You. Shang Wuji pointed at King Yi Mu in fury. Divine Realm warriors from the Dai sect? You're all back. You all actually came back. Zheng Hong's expression changed as he said. At this moment, Zheng Hong understood everything. Shang Wuji also understood everything. However, the situation was hopeless. The situation was hopeless. Kill! King Yi Mu ordered coldly. Xing! The 10 immortal state warriors attacked the 3 severely injured and exhausted men at the same time. Boom! Shang Wuji soared into the sky. No, we can't get out. This is the Dai Sect's formation, the Dai Sect's mountain guarding formation. Shang Wuji exclaimed. Zheng Hong also knew that the situation was hopeless. Zheng Hong's face flashed with ruthlessness. He reached into his bosom and took out a jade talisman. It was a purple jade talisman. Pa! Zheng Hong crushed the jade talisman. The moment the purple jade talisman was crushed. Boom! In a private residence in the Carefree City. Boom! The sound of someone breaking through the door was heard. Bastard, I was at a critical moment in my cultivation. Zheng Hong, you bastard, you disrupted my seclusion. Bastard, bastard. An old man with furrowed eyebrows broke through the door. Elder Yu, help! Zheng Hong screamed. In the King of Hell's palace. Elder Yu? Who is Elder Yu? Feng Tairan was puzzled. Yan Chuan's face changed. Oh no, it's a variable. Hurry, King Yi Mu, do it now. Chapter 384. Yan Chuan's expression changed. Not good, it's a variable. Quick, King Mai, do it, now. King Yi and the others also knew that the situation had changed. Kill! Kill! The 10 immortal state warriors attacked at the same time. Rays of blade chi shot toward the remaining 3 immortal state warriors. How dare you attack me? The old man's roar came from afar. Boom! 10 rays of sword light exploded, but they were too far away and there was a limit to what they could do. The other immortal state warrior of the Shangyo sect died on the spot and the old man only managed to save Zhenghong, Shang Wuji, who was severely injured. Bang! Bang! The 10 immortal state warriors were forced back by the old man. They all looked into the distance in horror. Phew! After leaving behind an afterimage, the old man instantly appeared in front of Zhenghong and Shang Wuji. Greetings, Elder Yu. Zhenghong and Shang Wuji said respectfully even though they were grieving. What happened? I have only been in seclusion for a few months. How did you end up like this? Elder Yu asked coldly. It's Yan Chuan. We've fallen into Yan Chuan's trap. Zhenghong said in grief. The Sanyu sect has been annihilated. We are the only ones left. Shang Wuji said sadly. Impossible. Your Triyu sect alliance is the strongest force here. How many months has it been? How is that possible? Elder Yu exclaimed. It's Yan Chuan. It's the Dai sect. They are here for revenge. We fell into their trap. Zhenghong said bitterly. Yan Chuan. Yan Tao's son. Yan Tao from the Dai sect. Elder Yu's face darkened. Yes, yes. He is the Yan Tao who was forced to death by your great winged heaven school. That Yan Tao. He is over there. Over there. Zhenghong pointed at a direction with hatred. The 10 immortal state warriors also retreated toward the direction of Yama's palace. Elder Yu. An abyssal realm warrior. An abyssal realm warrior. King Ye's face darkened. In front of Yama's palace. Abyssal realm warrior. There is an abyssal realm warrior in the Sanyu sect? I didn't know about it. King Ye's face darkened. Abyssal realm warrior. What should we do? Zi said. Inform Meng Hongying. She is also an emptiness realm expert. Ask her to stop Elder Yu. Yan Chuan said. Cousin. She is an abyssal realm warrior. Meng like Elder Yu. Abyssal realm warrior. Like Meng Yu. But, I didn't know cousin was. Zizi's face was filled with anxiety. I am. Meng heaven, Meng. Cousin, help me stop that emptiness realm expert. Zi shouted. Why? Why? Meng. Me? Meng. Meng. Then, he ignored Meng Hongying and looked into the distance. Phew. The 10 immortal state warriors retreated. Elder Yu, Zhenghong, and Shang Wuji also approached them. Who is Yan Chuan? Elder Yu asked coldly. That's him. Zhenghong pointed at Yan Chuan. So you are Yan Tao's son. I didn't kill you back then, but you ruined the Great Winged Heaven School's plan. Elder Yu said coldly. Yan Chuan narrowed his eyes. An immortal state warrior near Yan Chuan shouted, Sect leader, take Yan Chuan away. We will stop him. Senior brother Yan Tao only has one son. Sect leader, protect Yan Chuan. Chapter 385. Sect Master, leave now. The immortal state warriors of the Dai sect shouted. You want to run away? Elder Yu sneered. The immortal state warrior of the Imperial Monster Clan frowned and asked, Sect Master, what should we do now? King Ye's face darkened. He knew that all the hatred was on Yan Chuan. He couldn't stop the immortal state warriors. What should he do? Abandon Yanchuan. No. The Imperial Monster Clan was involved in the destruction of the Sanyu sect. We will fight with the Dae sect. King Yi shouted. Yes. With just the two of you. Elder Yu revealed a look of disdain as he extended his palm towards Yanchuan. Attack! The 10 Immortal State Warriors shouted in unison. Boom! 10 dazzling sword auras flashed and slashed at Elder Yu. Boom! The sword and palm collided, creating an unprecedented explosion. The wind blew and the waterfall in front of the King of Hell's palace flew up. Bang! The power of the sword and palm dissipated. Huh! Elder Yu's face darkened. Kill! The 10 Immortal State Warriors attacked at the same time and surrounded Elder Yu from all directions. Clang! 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 Elder Yu was fighting against the 10 Immortal State Warriors alone. Even if the 10 Immortal State Warriors used all their strength, they couldn't do anything to Elder Yu. Humph! How dare you stop me? Elder Yu shouted angrily. Boom! One of the Immortal State Warriors was severely injured and spat out a mouthful of blood. Kill! The 10 Immortal State Warriors didn't give up. Misfortune has arrived, misfortune has arrived. It's all my fault. Yanchuan, hurry up and leave. ZZ cried out anxiously. Seeing that ZZ had taken all the blame on herself, Yanchuan's heart ached slightly. It's not your fault. Really, don't blame yourself. Yanchuan shook his head and said. But. Trust me. Yanchuan shook his head. Okay. ZZ's expression was still ugly. In the King of Hell's palace, Meng Hongying narrowed her eyes and frowned. Is there really a love that doesn't involve anything else in this world? Meng Hongying murmured. No, that's impossible. There are no good men in this world. Yanchuan must be trying to trick me. Humph, humph. Meng Hongying said coldly. Meow. Big gangster, let's run. Meow jumped and shouted. Escape? You still want to escape? Zhenghong and Shang Wuji's faces darkened as they surrounded him. Although the 10 Immortal State Warriors were suppressed by Elder Yu, they managed to stall Elder Yu. Feng Tairan was the only Immortal State Warrior left in front of the Yama Palace. Shang Wuji, you stop Feng Tairan, I will kill Yanchuan. Zhenghong said with a gloomy face. Alright. Although the two Divine Realm experts were seriously injured, one of them could still hold Feng Tairan back for a short time. Feng Tairan was about to stop the two of them. Sect Master, let me do it. Yanchuan shook his head and said. Feng Tairan's face changed as he remembered what happened at the Demon Wind Mountain Range. Yanchuan had killed 2 Immortal State Warriors and was much more powerful than he was. Since he trusted Yanchuan, Feng Tairan nodded immediately. Ding! Yanchuan pointed his finger between Feng Tairan's eyebrows. Zhenghong, Shang Wuji, and Meng Hongying were all curious. Buzz! A large amount of essence qi came out of Feng Tairan's pores and formed an essence qi avatar. It was Feng Tairan's essence qi avatar, but its eyes were as sharp as Yanchuan's. Oh! Meng Hongying was shocked. She couldn't understand how powerful an Immortal State Warrior could make an essence qi avatar. Weren't these two fooling around? Chapter 386. Yanchuan stepped forward. This time, Yanchuan didn't draw his sword. Yanchuan. Feng Tairan. Zhenghong's face tensed up. Boom. In the distance, Elder Yu unleashed his power again and sent the 10 Immortal State Warriors flying. Oh no, run! Yanchuan, run! The Immortal State Warriors' Jiaohu voice came from afar. Kill! Kill them all! Zhenghong shouted. Okay. Shang Wuji roared and rushed over. Yanchuan stomped his foot. Boom! The ground shook and countless rocks shot up into the sky. Rumble! A large number of rocks surrounded Yan Chuan and spun faster and faster. It was as if Yan Chuan had turned into a star with countless planets orbiting around it. Stop fooling around. Zheng Hong attacked with his sword. Heavenly cycle of stars. Yan Chuan said in a cold voice. Boom! The countless rocks surrounding Yan Chuan suddenly exploded with dazzling starlight, as if they were shining stars. Boom! A large number of stars rushed toward the two immortal state warriors. Boom! Boom! The rocks didn't break when they hit the two swords. Instead, they pushed the two swords away. Boom! Ah! Impossible! Zheng Hong and Shang Wuji were both hit by a few stars. The powerful force even broke through their human chi walls instantly. Puff! Puff! The stars hit them and they were sent flying. Blood spurted out of their mouths. Impossible! How did this happen? The two were in so much pain that they couldn't fight anymore. Meng Hongying said in surprise, turning a mortal into a saint and a void god. This is the power of the void realm. How is this possible? What kind of cultivation art is this? Ah! In the distance, the 10 immortal state warriors were scattered. Some of them even vomited blood. However, when Yan Chuan forced Zheng Hong and Shang Wuji to retreat, the battle in the distance stopped. Sect Master. No, that's not the sect leader. It's Yan Chuan. While everyone was still in shock, Elder Yu raised his sword and charged over. Bastard! I really should have killed you back then. Today, you must die. Elder Yu's long sword slashed down. He slashed out with his sword, sending out a massive sword light. Countless berserk sword chi rushed out from all directions. Heavenly cycle of stars, meteor shower. Yan Chuan formed claws with his hands and grabbed in the direction of Elder Yu. Rumble. The stars that surrounded Yan Chuan were really like meteors that rushed toward Elder Yu. The meteor shower fell. Hundreds and thousands of meteors rushed forward, shattering the sword chi. Like a hot knife cutting through butter, he charged straight at Elder Yu. Dang 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 dang. Elder Yu immediately changed the direction of his sword, and his sword energy shattered the stars. Boom! A large number of stars exploded. Elder Yu was fine, but his heart was palpitating. 20 years old? Less than 20 years old. You're a monster. You're even more of a monster than Yen Tao. Elder Yu said in shock. If you don't die today, you'll be a disaster for the Great Winged Heaven School in the future. You will. Elder Yu's eyes were filled with determination. Let's attack together. All the immortal state warriors, follow me and kill him. Yan Chuan shouted to the immortal state warriors. After all, Feng Tairan was only an immortal state warrior, and this was only an essence chi clone. Yan Chuan couldn't use the power of his previous life at all. He had no choice but to ask the 10 immortal state warriors to cooperate with him. Okay. The immortal state warriors shouted. Yan Chuan took a step forward and soared into the sky. Around him, countless stars revolved around Yan Chuan. As he stretched out his hand, the stars streaked across the sky and rushed towards Elder Yu. Rumble. Chapter 387. Yan Chuan and the 10 immortal state warriors surrounded Elder Yu. Rumble. More and more crushed stones were sucked into the air, condensing into a saint. Countless stars surrounded everyone, like a black hole in the galaxy. The stars shot into the center of the black hole, shooting toward Elder Yu. Clang! 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 Elder Yu was in the center of the black hole. His face was pale, but he was still able to break the stars with his sword. What kind of skill is this? Elder Yu was surprised. Kill! King Yi and the others attacked at the same time. Their sword chi assisted the stars. Elder Yu, who was an emptiness realm expert, was in a difficult position. However, he was only in a difficult position. He was unable to hurt Elder Yu. Is this a heaven-level skill? Meng Hongying frowned and looked at Yan Chuan. Meng Hongying had never seen a heaven-level skill like Yan Chuan's before. Ha ha ha, I can also force an emptiness realm expert to retreat. An immortal state warrior shouted excitedly. Even if you have a powerful skill, you are only an immortal state warrior. Elder Yu shouted. Elder Yu's aura suddenly surged. It was as if the black hole was going to explode. Rumble. A large number of stars exploded under the pressure of Elder Yu's aura. Oh no, this old man is going to come out. King Ye's face changed. Everyone, if you trust me, Yan Chuan, how about letting me set up the array? Yan Chuan said. You? An immortal state warrior asked. Okay. King Yi was the first to agree. Good. Good, everyone reacted and shouted at the same time. Whoosh. In an instant, a strong wind blew. The 10 immortal state warriors were blown to 10 different directions. Under normal circumstances, the 10 of them would have broken free from the wind. However, they didn't do so at this moment. Instead, they allowed Yan Chuan to move them like puppets. Attack! Yan Chuan shouted. Kill! Boom! 10 sword lights slashed toward Elder Yu from 10 tricky angles. At the same time, the power formed by the 10 sword lights seemed to produce a strange resonance of the same frequency. Buzz! The original might of the 10 swords suddenly soared, giving off a dazzling light. Under the huge light, the light in the surroundings seemed to dim. It was like a sun had been born in an instant. It was so dazzling that the cultivators watching from afar were blinded, unable to see anything. Boom! Ah, bastard, bastard! Elder Yu screamed. The 10 immortal state warriors looked at Elder Yu in surprise. There was a long sword scar on Elder Yu's face. It was as if his face had been sliced in half. Blood flowed out. This was the first time Elder Yu had been injured. I did that. King Yi exclaimed in surprise. King Mai had never thought that he would be able to injure a virtual realm expert. Although there was a difference of 1 level between the God realm and the emptiness realm, the difference was like heaven and earth. How could he hurt a God realm expert? Again. Yan Chuan shouted. Buzz! Under Yan Chuan's control, the 10 immortal state warriors changed their positions again. Attack! Yan Chuan shouted again. Kill! The 10 immortal state warriors shouted excitedly. This might be the most glorious thing in their lives. They were all very excited. In front of the king of Hell's palace, ZZ heaved a sigh of relief. Meng Hongying's expression changed. Yan Chuan. Meng Hongying said with a complicated expression. Boom! In the distance, the 10 swords slashed again. Another deep sword scar appeared on Elder Yu's body. Chapter 388. Roar, roar, roar. Elder Yu was furious. A group of immortal state warriors? He was injured by a group of immortal state warriors. How could he be so badly injured? Again. Yan Chuan shouted. Elder Yu's eyes were bloodshot. He couldn't let this go on. With my blood, I will use the disintegration poison. Elder Yu shouted. Oh no, he is going to use the disintegration poison. King Ye's face changed. Slash! The 10 of them slashed at the same time. Buzz! The dazzling light blinded the eyes of many cultivators. Elder Yu's aura surged as he unleashed a power that was several times stronger than before. He swung his long sword and a huge sword aura blocked the attacks of the 10 immortal state warriors. Buzz! The 10 Immortal State Warriors and Elder Yu were in a stalemate as the two forces clashed. The 10 Immortal State Warriors didn't dare to withdraw their swords for fear that Elder Yu would kill them all. Yan Chuan and the 10 Immortal State Warriors fought back with all their might. Roar! Elder Yu roared as he suppressed the 11 figures in front of him. Not long after the disintegration poison, Elder Yu was more ferocious than ever. However, Yan Chuan was able to control the array of the 10 Immortal State Warriors. Although he was able to suppress them, he couldn't kill them all. Mother and son sword. Elder Yu's eyes flashed. Buzz! The long sword in Elder Yu's hand suddenly separated from the center as if a small sword had been hollowed out. The long sword became hollow, but it still carried Elder Yu's power. However, the small sword shot up to the sky and shot towards the King of Hell's palace. Stop right there. Yan Chuan's expression changed as he shouted. Cousin! ZZ cried out in alarm. The direction the small sword was shooting towards was where Yan Chuan's body was. Elder Yu would only be satisfied after he killed Yan Chuan. Meng Hongying also saw it, but she didn't want to save Yan Chuan. Yan Chuan was the key to holding ZZ back. Why should she save him? Meow! Meow shrieked out. But Meow's powers were simply too low right now. Even though she had managed to scare off the heavenly tribulation back then, there was nothing she could do right now. The long sword was about to hit Yan Chuan's body. Meng Hongying looked on coldly while Elder Yu revealed a maniacal smile. Yan Chuan and the 10 experts at the God Realm couldn't do anything at all. Ha ha ha! Elder Yu said excitedly. The small sword was about to hit Yan Chuan. Who? Suddenly, a purple figure appeared in front of Yan Chuan. Chi! The sword instantly pierced through the purple figure's chest. ZZ! Meng Hongying exclaimed. It was ZZ. At the moment when Yan Chuan was struck by the sword, ZZ used her body to block the attack for Yan Chuan. The power of the small sword was extraordinary, but strangely, it couldn't go any further after stabbing into ZZ's chest for a while. ZZ! Yan Chuan also exclaimed. Bastard! Elder Yu said furiously. The sword was about to kill Yan Chuan, but it was blocked by a girl. Time seemed to have stopped at the moment when ZZ was struck by the sword. ZZ looked at Yan Chuan through the golden mask. Their eyes met and a flash of nostalgia appeared in her eyes. ZZ! Yan Chuan, in the distance, suddenly unleashed all the power of his essence Chi avatar. The stalemate between the two sides was broken. Whoosh! The essence Chi avatar flew over. In a blink of an eye, it entered Feng Tyron's body. Yan Chuan's body opened his eyes immediately. Ha 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 ha! Elder Yu let out a sigh of relief as soon as he saw Yan Chuan leave. He laughed excitedly. Today, none of you will be able to escape. All of you will die. Elder Yu said excitedly. However, before Elder Yu could kill King Yi Mu and the others, a powerful aura suddenly pressed down on him, suffocating him. Chapter 389. What's going on? Elder Yu asked in horror. Elder Yu had never felt this kind of pressure before. It was too terrifying. What's going on? King Wild looked at ZZ, who had been struck by the sword, and then at Elder Feather, whose expression had changed drastically. He looked at Elder Yu with pity. You're dead. King Yi shook his head. He ordered the Immortal State Warriors to back off. The Immortal State Warriors looked at Elder Yu with the same expression. You're dead. Just as Elder Yu was feeling puzzled, a loud explosion suddenly sounded above his head. Rumble. With a huge boom, the early morning sky suddenly darkened. In an instant, the sky turned dark. Dark clouds gathered in the vast sky, and boundless thunder and lightning looked like thunder dragons rolling about in the dark clouds. The target of the dark clouds was Elder Yu. hurry up and remove the formation. King Wild Moo roared in all directions. Rumble. The disciples of the Dae sect who were responsible for activating the array in the city quickly removed the array. Elder Yu looked at the sky. Among the rolling dark clouds, some of the dark clouds had already turned fiery red. The terrifying heavenly punishment was more than 10 times stronger than what Yan Chuan had faced previously. It was spectacular. The lightning dragons seemed to be wrapped in heavenly fire. The oppressive pressure made Elder Yu's face turn pale. What's going on? Who can tell me what's going on? Elder Yu was almost unable to breathe from the enormous pressure of the heavenly might. The divine punishment was too terrifying. He had never seen such a terrifying divine punishment. Why is it targeting me? Why is it targeting me? Elder Yu shouted in his heart. However, the divine punishment didn't change its target. It was him. Why? Why? Zhenghong, Shang Wuji, tell me, why? Elder Yu shouted. Zhenghong and Shang Wuji, who were lying on the ground, looked at the tribulation clouds in the sky and the lightning dragons in the clouds. They were petrified. Tell me, why? Elder Yu shouted. Zhenghong looked at ZZ and shook his head with a bitter smile. I should have known, I should have known. It's ZZ. You killed someone you shouldn't have. You're doomed. Shang Wuji shouted. I'm doomed. What do you mean I'm finished? Elder Yu roared in disbelief. Looking at ZZ who was stabbed by the small sword in the distance, Elder Yu's face flashed with grief and indignation. Impossible, impossible, are you God's woman? Why? Why? Elder Yu was so depressed that he wanted to vomit blood. Boom! Finally, a bolt of lightning that was hundreds of feet thick came down from the heavenly punishment. The bolt of lightning was in the shape of a dragon and was surrounded by heavenly fire. Everywhere it passed, the air was set ablaze. It was as if the entire world was burning. No, no! Elder Yu roared as he flew outside. Tears welled up in his eyes as he fled. This was too unreasonable, too unreasonable. Why did the heavens favor that woman so much? Why? Elder Yu fled, but the heavenly fire thunder dragon was even faster. Roar! The roaring heavenly fire thunder dragon charged towards Elder Feather and crashed into him. Rumble! Heavenly fire and lightning enveloped Elder Yu in the blink of an eye. Ah! Ah! Oh my God! Oh my God! In the heavenly fire, Elder Yu roared for a while and then stopped. Boom! The heavenly fire returned to the tribulation clouds. The original Elder Yu was destroyed in the blink of an eye, not even leaving behind ashes. The powerful emptiness realm expert was gone in the blink of an eye. It was too shocking. Countless cultivators in Carefree City looked at the sky in horror. They knew that Miss Z was terrifying, but who would have thought that Miss Z was so terrifying? Emptiness Realm Expert. That was the Emptiness Realm Expert. In the blink of an eye, nothing was left. It was too frightening. Chapter 390. King Yi and the rest of the Immortal State warriors watched Elder Yu turn into ashes. Although they had expected it, they were still shocked by the scene. Was he vaporized in an instant? Lady Z was too terrifying. They wondered how Lady Z was doing now. Everyone turned around and looked. In the distance, Feng Tairan was exhausted. Yan Chuan had used up a lot of his essence chi avatar. Feng Tairan felt weak, but as long as he was alive, he would be able to recover. On the other hand, Yan Chuan woke up and rushed to ZZ, holding her in his arms. Kaboom! The tribulation clouds in the sky did not disperse, as if they were targeting Yan Chuan. However, he was not harming ZZ after all, so the heavenly punishment was much weaker, just like when he combed her hair that day. Meow! Meow! Meow screamed at the sky. The group of immortal state warriors was confused. They didn't know what was wrong with Yan Chuan's cat. Why was it making so much noise at this time? Only Feng Tairan and Lu Jin knew that Miao was trying to stop the tribulation clouds. Miao. Miao stared at the tribulation clouds in the sky as its fur stood on end. ZZ. Meng Hongying panicked and wanted to rush up. Get lost. Yan Chuan shouted at Meng Hongying. You. Meng Hongying was furious, but she still stood 2 meters away from ZZ. Meng Hongying did not expect ZZ's curse to be so terrifying. Although she was worried about ZZ, she was still careful of the curse. The small sword in ZZ's chest was bleeding. ZZ's eyes were filled with reluctance as she looked at Yan Chuan, who was hugging her. Yan Chuan stopped Meng Hongying and touched ZZ's chest, touching the place where the small sword was inserted. Heart? Stabbed into his heart. Yan Chuan's expression was extremely ugly. Yan Chuan, I'm so happy. It feels so good to be protected by someone. It feels so good to lie in your arms. ZZ said weakly. Quickly, find all the medicinal pills, quickly, find all the life-saving medicinal pills. Yan Chuan shouted at Feng Tairan. Okay. Feng Tairan quickly asked everyone to find the elixirs. It's useless. My Violet Palace realm is broken. ZZZ shook her head. She grabbed Yan Chuan's Violet Palace realm's sleeve, her eyes were filled with reluctance. That day, you came to my Violet Heart Villa. You asked me why I was alone, why I'm not in the city and Violet Palace realm. Don't you feel lonely? ZZ's eyes were filled with desolation. Why? Why? Yan Chuan followed ZZ's words and a pained expression flashed across his face. I'm afraid of being alone, I'm afraid of being alone. Although there are many people in the downtown area and it's lively, once I enter the downtown area, I feel even more lonely and my heart is even colder. I'm afraid of the cold, I'm afraid of being alone. ZZ said in fear. I'm here. Everything will be fine. Yan Chuan hugged ZZ. It wasn't that ZZ was hopeless. In his previous life, Yan Chuan had the ability to save ZZ. But now, Yan Chuan had no choice but to continuously transfer his essence into ZZ's chest. He kept transferring the essence into her body. I was born alone and everyone avoided me. I'm so sad, but there's always someone in my heart. Because I'm married, I still have a husband. All these years, I've been supporting myself with this. When I went to Yanjing last time, I was so scared. I was so scared that you would really divorce me. ZZ said weakly. He won't. Never. Yan Chuan's eyes moistened. Chapter 391. I'm so happy that you didn't sign the divorce papers. Even if you don't come to see me in the future, I'll have enough. At least I'll keep the warmth of that time in my heart. But you came, and you didn't abandon me. You even accompanied me and combed my hair. ZZ said weakly. You're my wife. This life is destined. It's only right that I comb your hair. Yan Chuan's eyes gradually moistened. ZZ seemed to be having a terminal lucidity. She couldn't stop talking. Can I call you husband? ZZ asked expectantly. She seemed to know that she was about to die. Yes. Yan Chuan nodded. Husband. ZZ cried out with tears in her eyes. Boom. An explosion suddenly sounded in the sky, and the tribulation clouds that were originally there suddenly rose sharply. Meow. Meow's voice became even more shrill. It was as if her throat was about to go hoarse. Looking at ZZ, Yan Chuan hugged her with one hand and continued to circulate his essence energy. His other hand, however, gently lifted ZZ's mask. No, don't. ZZ cried weakly. However, Yan Chuan didn't listen. He forcefully lifted the mask. As soon as the mask was lifted, an extremely delicate face was revealed. King Yi Mu and the others nearby were just about to take a look when an enormous pressure suddenly pressed down on them. It seemed that the heavenly tribulation was targeting them as well. Ah! King Yi Mu and the others quickly retreated as far as they could. The power of the curse had increased. Rumble. The tribulation clouds grew thicker. Meow, you big hooligan, I can't take it anymore. I can't take it anymore. Meow cried out. The two of them, who were hugging each other, couldn't hear anything from the outside world. Yan Chuan looked at the beauty in his arms, deeply moved. ZZ was so moved that she didn't know how to react. Husband. ZZ could only say these words. Her eyelids were about to close. Looking at those delicate red lips, Yan Chuan kissed her. He kissed ZZ's lips. ZZ, who was about to close her eyes, suddenly opened them. Her eyes were filled with surprise and joy. At this moment, there was no longer any regret in ZZ's eyes. With a sweet expression, she slowly closed her eyes. Rumble. The tribulation clouds in the sky became even thicker. This violation once again triggered the wrath of the heavens. A great punishment was about to descend. Meng Hongying said with a complicated expression, "Get out of the way. Do you really want ZZ to die?" Yan Chuan finally parted his lips from purple and looked at Meng Hongying in annoyance. Meng Hongying took out a huge transparent sphere. It had a diameter of 3 zhang. Its interior seemed to be filled with endless blue liquid. Spring of life. Yan Chuan immediately revealed a look of ecstasy. Carrying the unconscious ZZ, he rushed over. Boom! Yan Chuan pushed ZZ into the hole and pulled out the long sword from her chest. Purple floated in the blue liquid. You know about the spring of life? Meng Hongying was surprised. The spring of life can keep ZZ in this state. That's great. I'll find a way to save her. Yan Chuan was overjoyed. There's no need for that. I don't know how long it will take for you to find it. I'll bring ZZ back. I have a tree of life at home. As long as I put ZZ in it and extract the essence of the tree of life, ZZ will be fine. Meng Hongying said confidently. Really? Yan Chuan was overjoyed. You should worry about yourself. Meng Hongying said. After what happened just now, Meng Hongying's attitude towards Yan Chuan had improved. However, she still rejected Yan Chuan. Meow. Chapter 392. Meow 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 meowed weakly. Yan Chuan looked up at the sky. The tribulation clouds were getting thicker and thicker. Although it wasn't as thick as the one that killed Elder Yu, it was at least twice as thick as the one that combed Elder Yu's hair. Pervert, it's over. I can't hold on any longer. Meow. Meow cried out in pain again. Boom. A huge bolt of lightning with a diameter of 10 feet struck down from the sky. Its violent aura made the surrounding cultivators terrified. Even an immortal state warrior wouldn't be able to withstand such a huge bolt of lightning. Meng Hongying carried ZZ and flew away. The bolt of lightning was heading straight for Yan Chuan and Meow. Yan Chuan wasn't the only one who had offended the heavens. Meow had done the same, so they were being punished together. Meow. Meow cried out in pain. Yan Chuan quickly pounced on Meow and hugged Meow in his arms. Boom! The huge bolt of lightning struck down and instantly enveloped Yan Chuan. Boom! The entire mountain where the King of Hell's palace was located was blasted apart. My king! Lu Jin, who had been blasted into the sky, screamed. King Yi Mu and the others were in despair. Sky swallowing poison. Amidst the lightning, Yan Chuan hugged Meow Meow and roared with difficulty. Kaboom! One could vaguely see a black aura around Yan Chuan's body. The black aura was violently absorbing the lightning that had enveloped Yan Chuan. Kaboom! Lightning fell from the sky. It was as if a huge crater had been created. Yan Chuan fell into the crater with Miao in his arms. The crater shone brightly as countless bolts of lightning fell, as if they were going to blast Yan Chuan to pieces. Miao was shivering in Yan Chuan's arms as she looked around Yan Chuan. Roar! Yan Chuan opened his mouth and roared, but countless lightning bolts quickly rushed into Yan Chuan's mouth. It was as if Yan Chuan was swallowing endless thunder and lightning. Roar! Yan Chuan continuously swallowed the pool of lightning into his stomach. The more he swallowed, the more lightning there was. Pa pa pa! Although a large amount of lightning struck Miao's body, it was just the aftermath. Most of it was swallowed by Yan Chuan. Miao! Miao looked at Yan Chuan in confusion. Boom! Yan Chuan's body was also lacerated. However, his face was incomparably ferocious. He swallowed the thunder and lightning in his mouth. After the thunder and lightning were swallowed, the thunder and lightning surged into his Divine Hall acupoint. The Divine Hall acupoint contained the tribulation clouds that Yan Chuan had swallowed during his tribulation. As the thunder and lightning rushed into it, the tribulation clouds churned. Rumble. Because Yan Chuan kissed ZZ, the thunder and lightning outside lasted for an incense stick's time. Lu Jin was already in despair. King Yi Mu and the others also looked regretful. After an incense stick's time, the tribulation clouds in the sky slowly receded. The lightning pool was still crackling and flashing, but gradually, the thunder and lightning dissipated into the ground. There was a huge pit that was 50 feet deep. The huge pit was charred black. Everyone thought that Yan Chuan was done for. A voice came from the bottom of the pit. Meow, big hooligan, it's done. Damn it, the tribulation is over. Meow's weak voice came. What? King Yi Mu's expression changed. Is he still alive? Feng Tairan was also ecstatic. Meng Hongying looked at the bottom of the pit in disbelief. A lump of coal seemed to be twisting its body. Whoosh! Meow climbed out of the coal with difficulty. The coal turned over. Yan Chuan's body was charred black. He seemed to be unable to move, but he could still open his eyes. He opened his eyes and looked out of the pit. Ha ha ha, he's still alive. Yan Chuan is still alive. Feng Tairan shouted excitedly. That's impossible. How can you still be alive? You're only in the essence state. Meng Hongying exclaimed. Save ZZ. Tell her that I'll come for her. I promise. Yan Chuan said weakly in a hoarse voice. Meng Hongying's expression was strange. Humph. With a cold snort, he flicked his sleeve, and with the spring of life wrapped around ZZ, he soared into the sky. In the blink of an eye, he flew out of Worry-Free City and headed south with ZZ in tow. He disappeared in the blink of an eye. Looking at ZZ's departure, Yan Chuan revealed a gratified smile. At least ZZ was saved. Yan Chuan, are you alright? Feng Tairan flew over. A group of immortal state warriors flew over. I'm severely injured. Prepare some pills for me. Yan Chuan said with a wry smile. Don't worry, I'll give you as much as you need. Feng Tairan shouted excitedly. Congratulations. King Yi Mu exclaimed. King Yi Mu, I'll leave the remaining members of Sanyu sect to you. Don't disappoint me. Yan Chuan said weakly. Although Yan Chuan was extremely weak and his cultivation was pitifully low, King Yi Mu did not dare to be careless. He was even a little afraid of Yan Chuan. Don't worry, I'll get it done. King Yi Mu nodded. Meow. Meow meowed weakly. Chapter 393. The fact that Yan Chuan was still alive under the wrath of the heavens was a shock to the immortal state warriors. The king of Hell's palace was destroyed by the heavens, but a new one would soon be born. The overlords of the Dae sect led Yan Chuan away as if he was a hero. Only the members of the monster-controlling sect were left behind. King Yi and 3 immortal state warriors stood in front of a pile of rubble. 2 bodies lay on top of the rubble. Zhenghong and Shang Wuji. Yan Chuan's stellar cycle cultivation method was too powerful. With just one strike, the 2 divine realm experts were no longer able to move. Ha 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 ha, Yan Chuan brat, Yan Chuan brat. Zhenghong cried out in grief. A year ago, no one dared to look down on Yan Chuan. He was humiliated by the Triyu sect in the Carefree Palace. Even though Yan Chuan was famous as the Blood Demon, he was nothing in the eyes of the immortal state warriors. But now, it had only been a year, and the Triyu sect had been destroyed. Zhenghong, Yan Chuan is not even 20 years old, but your defeat was justified. King Yi sighed. A year ago, King Yi didn't expect Yan Chuan to be so powerful. I can't accept this. I can't accept this. Zhenghong roared with bloodshot eyes. Initially, he had the strength of an entire sect, he had the worry-free city under his control. But now, he was all alone, on the verge of death. I can't accept this. Zhenghong roared as he channeled the last of his energy to escape. Kill. King Yi didn't need to do anything. The 3 immortal state warriors attacked at the same time. Boom. The struggling Zhenghong was slain by the 3 great deity realms with a loud bang, dying instantly. Bang! Zhenghong's body fell to the ground, kicking up a cloud of dust. He was the most powerful cultivator in the Carefree Palace a year ago, but now he was dead. Shang Wuji smiled wryly. Brother Shang, rest in peace. King Yi raised his sword and shouted. King Yi. Shang Wuji said weakly. King Yi glared coldly at Shang Wuji. Back then, when the Triyu sect ostracized your demon-controlling sect, it was my high transcendence sect that had always been biased towards you. Am I right? Shang Wuji smiled bitterly. King Yi raised an eyebrow. This time, my Triyu sect was destroyed mainly because of your demon control sect. However, I don't blame you. I know that there's no way out for me. Before I die, I want to ask you for a favor. Shang Wuji said bitterly. Go ahead, brother Shang. King Yi said in a deep voice. The Shang Yu sect must have been destroyed. I'm not begging you to release the Shang Yu sect, but I beg you to release my son. Shang En, I only have one son now. He's the only bloodline of the Shang clan. I beg you, on account of our past relationship, please let him live. Shang Wuji begged. King Wild furrowed his brows. You can cripple his cultivation and make him immortal for the rest of his life. I only beg you to spare his life, I beg you. Shang Wuji begged. Various emotions flashed across King Ye's face as he thought back to the past. In the end, he let out a soft sigh and said, Amen. Many thanks. Shang Wuji revealed a gratified expression. Boom. Shang Wuji's body suddenly let out a muffled sound. The 3 immortal state warriors quickly checked. Senior martial brother, Shang Wuji self-destructed his Yuan spirit. He committed suicide. The 3 immortal state warriors exclaimed. After all, we've known each other for many years. Let's bury them properly. King Yi sighed. Yes. With the destruction of the Triyu sect, the Carefree Palace welcomed a round of massacres. The Dae sect and the demon-controlling sect both took action to capture and kill the remaining members of the Triyu sect. At the entrance of a busy city, a large number of cultivators gathered around a high platform in the center. On the high platform, there were 30 bound cultivator prisoners. They were all pressed to the ground. Chapter 394. Lu Gang stood on the high platform and looked at the people below. Everyone, be my witnesses. These 30 people are harboring the remnants of Triyu sect and deserve to die. Today, I will use them to prove the law of Carefree City. Lu Gang shouted coldly. Kill! Lu Gang ordered coldly. The disciples behind him raised their swords. Ci. Ah! Under the shocked gazes of the crowd, 30 heads rolled off the stage. Lu Gang looked at the 30 corpses and then at the cultivators below the stage. I know, the Triyu sect has been in the worry-free city for many years, and its disciples are on good terms with many people in the city. We can let bygones be bygones, but anyone who harbored a disciple of the Triyu sect will be killed without mercy. Lu Gang snorted coldly. The cultivators below were shocked. What a vicious person. His name is Lu Gang, right? His temperament is too vicious. Lu Gang's ruthlessness left a deep impression in everyone's heart. However, the effect of the public decapitation was obvious. The subsequent hunt for the remnants of Triyu sect went much smoother. Lu Gang was in charge of investigating and killing along the way. Junior brother Lu. A cultivator ran over. Although Lu Gang's cultivation wasn't high, his vicious methods in the past few days had raised his prestige by quite a bit. That cultivator whispered in Lu Gang's ear. What? Master crippled Shang'en's cultivation and wants to let him go. Lu Gang's face darkened. Yes, junior brother told me to keep an eye on him, so I kept an eye on him. That cultivator said. Stop Shang'en, don't let him escape. Lu Gang ordered coldly. Ah. That was released by the sect master, how can I stop him? What if the sect master blames me? That cultivator was shocked. I will bear all the blame. Go and capture Shang'en, I will go and see the sect master now. Lu Gang said solemnly. Ah, alright. That cultivator left with a bitter face. Lu Gang naturally rushed to the Imperial Demon Palace. In the Imperial Demon Palace, there were only King Yi Mu and Lu Gang. Master, you released Shang'en? Lu Gang asked respectfully. That's right. What's wrong? King Yi Mu asked calmly. Master, Shang'en is Shang Wuji's son. This person is extremely important and sensitive. If we let him go like this, when Yan Chuan recovers, how are we going to answer to him? Lu Gang said worriedly. King Yi glared at Lu Gang and said with a frown, it's my business how I explain myself. I'll explain myself. I've already sent people to intercept Shang'en. Lu Gang said. What? How dare you, Lu Gang? King Wild's eyes turned cold. In the demon-controlling sect, no one dared to disobey him. How dare Lu Gang do that? No, Master, Shang'en cannot be released. He is Shang Wuji's son, all the more he should be killed. Not to mention Yan Chuan's intentions, for the sake of our Imperial Demon sect, we cannot release a tiger back into the mountains. Lu Gang knelt down and insisted. Release the tiger back to the mountain? I've already crippled his cultivation. How can he threaten my demon-controlling sect? King Yi Mu said coldly. Cutting the weeds without removing the roots, the Triyu sect is the example of my demon control sect. Lu Gang shouted. The Triyu sect? King Wild's face twitched. Master, the Triyu sect also cut the weeds without removing the roots and forced Yan Tao to his death. They didn't go too far and didn't kill Yan Chuan. How many years has it been since then? Master, did anyone think that Yan Chuan was a ferocious tiger? Did anyone think that he was a threat? Lu Gang insisted. King Wild's heart tightened as he sucked in a breath of cold air. My demon-controlling sect has a blood feud with Shang'en. Yan Chuan put my demon-controlling sect in charge of encircling and killing the Triyu sect for the same reason. If the remnants of the Triyu sect rise again, my demon-controlling sect will be the first to bear the brunt of their revenge. It's best if a monster like Yan Chuan doesn't appear. But what if a monster like Yan Chuan is born among the remnants of the Triyu sect? Lu Gang advised. Cold sweat trickled down King Wild's forehead. It was obvious that he regretted his previous soft-heartedness. Master has already released Shang-En. It was Disciple's idea to capture him. Master has already done his best. Leave the rest to Disciple. Lu Gang said solemnly. Looking at Lu Gang kneeling in front of him, King Wild didn't know why, but he felt a sense of horror in his heart. This disciple was too ruthless, too vicious. Fortunately, he was a disciple of the demon-controlling sect. King Yi Mu sighed softly and said, "All right. Pass down my orders. The demon-controlling sect's disciples are all under your command during this operation." "Yes." Lu Gang said respectfully. Carefree City. City Lord's Mansion, Carefree Hall on the floating island. The plaque of Carefree Hall had been changed to King of Hell's Palace. After Zheng Hang's death, Carefree City no longer had a city lord. Similarly, the Dae sect, the strongest force in the city, had officially moved into the city lord's mansion. Yan Chuan was recuperating here. The doors to the hall were tightly shut. Meow. Meow lazily slept on the roof of the hall, basking in the sun. Inside the hall, Yan Chuan sat cross-legged, recuperating. Rumble. The tribulation cloud in his Shinting meridian had grown by more than 10 times. Of course, Yan Chuan was the only one who could hear the rumbling sound. The tribulation cloud continuously released lightning, tempering Yan Chuan's body. Boom. A muffled sound came from Yan Chuan's body, and a huge gust of wind blew in all directions. Meow. Meow, who was sleeping on the roof, lifted a tile and immediately crawled in. Whoosh! Meow jumped in front of Yan Chuan. "You broke through." Meow said happily. "Yes, I'm in the 9th stage of the Profound Realm." Yan Chuan smiled. "Only the 9th stage? That's so slow. I heard from that Zhujiansheng that Hu Guang had reached the Qi state when he attacked the Sanyu sect. How can you be worse than a subordinate?" Meow said. Yan Chuan smiled and said, "Hu Guang has been fighting in the Demon Wind Mountain range for the past year, so his cultivation is naturally faster. Moreover, the Tao that I cultivate is different from his." "Keep bragging." Meow said disdainfully. "What about you? How much have you recovered?" Yan Chuan smiled. "Me? More than you." Meow did not mention it. "Ha ha ha, you're still in the strength state." Yan Chuan smiled. "Who said it's the strength state? Who said it's the strength state? I've already broken through to the profound realm after suffering the tribulation with you last time. I've already broken through." Meow suddenly became anxious. "Alright, LV1 of the profound realm." Yan Chuan smiled. At this moment, Meow realized that Yan Chuan was trying to get information out of her. Pervert, bad guy, I'm not talking to you anymore." Meow jumped up angrily and jumped onto the roof to sleep under the sun again. Yan Chuan got up. After more than a month of rest, the charred skin on his body had disappeared and he was as good as new again. However, he had just broken through and his body was covered in sweat. He opened the door to the main hall. Lu Jin was waiting outside. "Your Majesty, the hot water is ready. Please take a bath and change your clothes." Lu Jin said respectfully. "Okay. Your Majesty, Hu Guang is back." Lu Jin said respectfully. "Tell him to come and see me after I take a bath and change my clothes." Yan Chuan nodded. Chapter 395. Dae Sect, Great River Hall. Feng Tairan sat in the main seat, surrounded by a group of Divine Realm experts. "This time, the 4 of you have worked hard," Feng Tairan said to Duan San Shu and the 3 Peak Lords. Their faces were slightly pale, but overall, they were fine. Duan Sanshu smiled faintly. We're fine, we only delayed those 3 divine realm experts for a few days. More importantly, you guys were fast enough in the carefree city and came to our aid. Otherwise, we would have been worried that they would run away. The 3 Serenities sect was annihilated, everyone has done their best. Our carefree city's tax revenue will be doubled, and the rise of the Dae sect is just around the corner. Feng Tairan laughed. That's right, doubling the resources means that the spirit stones allocated to us will double every year. It's beneficial to our cultivation. Gao Bufan laughed. Feng Tianyu frowned slightly. Father, why is it only doubled? Feng Tianyu asked with a frown. N? Feng Tairan was confused. Yan Chuan is now the carefree city's castellan. Since everyone agreed, I won't object. However, our Dae sect went all out to help the 3 Serenities sect, why is it only doubled? Feng Tianyu frowned. That's right, sect master, we should have gotten more, what's going on now? The carefree city's tax revenue is divided into 15 portions, 4 for the Imperial Monster sect, 5 for the Dae sect, and 6 for Yan Chuan alone. Why is Yan Chuan taking so much? Another divine realm expert asked. Yan Chuan wants to use the tax revenue to raise an army. Feng Tairan explained. Raise an army? That group of mercenaries? Why? Feng Tianyu frowned. That's right, isn't it a waste? Our Dae sect is already the biggest sect in Carefree City, why do we need to raise an army? Besides, why is Yan Chuan taking more tax revenue than our entire Dae sect? Another divine realm expert said solemnly. Enough. Feng Tairan's face sank. Everyone fell silent. Peak masters of the 3 peaks, those who oppose my decision, please speak. Feng Tairan looked at the peak masters of the 3 peaks. Gao Bufan and Mo Wuhui remained silent. Feng Tianyu opened his mouth to speak, but he swallowed the words that were about to come out of his mouth. Feng Tairan looked at the crowd and said, since the 4 peak masters have agreed, then this old man's decision will not change. The decision-making power of the Dae sect belongs to me and the 4 peak masters. If you want to make decisions, then give up on traveling outside and compete for the position of peak master in the sect. When you become a peak master, then you can participate in making decisions. Ah! There was a moment of silence. Everyone was used to being free. There were countless wonders in the world. Everyone wanted to travel and explore the world, seeking to break through to a higher level. They didn't have to worry about the matters of the sect, and they also had a fixed amount of spirit stones. How good was that? With less responsibility came less authority. They were not allowed to participate in the decision-making process. If you want to make a decision now, don't go out. Everyone could only shut their mouths in embarrassment. Seeing that everyone had stopped talking, Feng Tairan said, it's already twice as much as before. Everyone should be content. I, Feng Tairan, will definitely not do anything that will let down the Dae sect. I guarantee with my life that Yan Chuan will not do so either. Yes. Everyone finally accepted this reality. Carefree City, City Lord's Mansion, King of Hell's Palace. Yan Chuan sat high up. Huo Guang bowed respectfully to Yan Chuan. Congratulations, my king, on becoming the City Lord of Carefree City, annihilating the Triyu sect, and making a name for yourself. Huo Guang smiled respectfully. In this battle, you also contributed greatly. Yan Chuan smiled. Chapter 396. It's all thanks to the king's teachings. Huo Guang said sincerely. The annihilation of the Sanyu sect didn't go well, did it? Yan Chuan asked. Yes, there were about 15,000 disciples in the Sanyu sect. The main problem was that there were too many Qi realm experts, so it was very difficult. The First Legion lost about 4,000 men. Huo Guang sighed. It's inevitable that there will be casualties on the battlefield. The annihilation of the Sanyu sect took a lot of spiritual stones and resources. Don't be stingy. Prepare enough compensation and continue to recruit soldiers in Carefree City. Keep it around 40,000. Yan Chuan said. Yes. Huo Guang replied. How's the morale of the First Legion? Yan Chuan smiled. In this year, we slaughtered all the monsters in the Devil Wind Mountains and ate countless monsters. Our soldiers' cultivation has increased, and we even have spiritual stones to earn. They are in a much better condition than the mercenaries. The morale of the soldiers is high, and many of them are clamoring to extend the one-year agreement. Huo Guang said excitedly. How many Qi realm experts are there? Yan Chuan asked. In this year, 12 of them broke through to the Qi realm, but none of them were my match. They are now holding important positions in the army. Huo Guang said respectfully. You are the Legion commander. Of course, you have to suppress everyone. Yan Chuan smiled. Yes. Lu Jin, what about the Demon Slayer sect? Yan Chuan looked at Lu Jin. My king, the Demon Slayer sect worked very hard this time. King Mai put Lu Gang in charge of annihilating the remaining members of the Sanyu sect. Lu Gang was very ruthless. Many of them were killed in public. His methods were vicious. Many people were afraid, so it went very smoothly. Lu Jin said respectfully. Oh. In the mortal world, Yi Feng also sent over some information. In the information, Lu Gang was a ruthless person when he was young. He was also good at currying favor. But after reaching the full mastery of the strength realm, he stopped participating in many things. As a consecrated, he lived like a prince. It has a certain amount of intelligence, but not much. Lu Jin said. Back when you were in the strength realm, you were able to trick the essence realm demonic snake into working for you. It seems that you are quite clever. Yan Chuan nodded. Yi Feng's evaluation of him is that he's capable of doing things, but not enough to plan the world. Lu Jin said respectfully. I got it. Yan Chuan nodded. Your Majesty, when will your Majesty establish your country? Huo Guang asked curiously. Yan Chuan thought for a moment and decided not to hide anything. There's still more than 2 years to 3 years before the Heavenly Bestowal Conference at the Jilu Academy. At that time, I'm going to fight for something. When I come back, I'll establish a dynasty. Oh. Huo Guang nodded. Therefore, in the following period of time, you must train the First Legion well. After the establishment of the nation, we will have many things to do. Yan Chuan said in a deep voice. Yes. Your subject will do his best. Huo Guang replied. Yan Chuan nodded. It had been a month since the grand siege of the Three Serenities sect ended. Carefree City regained its peace once again. However, the topic that countless practitioners were discussing the most was the city lord of Carefree City, Yan Chuan. 20 years old. A mere 20 years old city lord. In the entire world, other than some wealthy second generations of large sects, who could compare to Yan Chuan? It was said that the destruction of the Three Serenities sect was single-handedly facilitated by Yan Chuan. Although he was young, Yan Chuan had won the respect of the entire city. Walking on the streets, many practitioners would pay their respects to Yan Chuan. Because of Miao, many practitioners even imitated Yan Chuan and found kittens as their own demonic pets, showing the same taste as the city lord. On this day, Yan Chuan carried Miao on his shoulder and walked out of the drunken Immortal Inn. Chapter 397. Miao said lazily, thinking of Sister Zizi again. Coming to her shop to drink again. What do you know? Yan Chuan joked. I know everything. I'm the smartest Miao. Miao said proudly. Just as Yan Chuan and Miao were bickering, Lu Jin rushed over from afar. My king, someone from the city lord manor is here. Lu Jin said respectfully. Oh. Yan Chuan was puzzled. It's Qing Long. He's here on behalf of Miss Mo. Lu Jin said. Let's go back. Yan Chuan nodded. Miss Mo? Who's Miss Mo? And who's Qing Long? Miao asked curiously. The saintess of the Dazhao Holy Land, Mou Shi. Qing Long is one of Miss Mo's 4 attendants. Lu Jin explained kindly. Saintess? Mou Shi. What's going on? Miao. Miao's eyes lit up. Her gossipy soul was burning. Enough. Yan Chuan stopped Miao from asking random questions. Miao, tell me. What's your relationship with Mou Shi? Why is a saintess looking for you? Miao asked anxiously. If you make any more noise, I won't bring you back. Yan Chuan said. If you don't bring me back, I'll go back by myself. Miao. Miao said disdainfully. In front of the king of hell's palace, Yan Chuan and Lu Jin returned. Miao sat on Yan Chuan's shoulder and looked curiously at the 3 people in front of the palace. Huo Guang was currently receiving the 2 figures, one green and one white. They were Mou Shi's 2 subordinates, Qing Long and Bai Hu. Seeing that Yan Chuan had returned, the 2 immediately stepped forward. Greetings, Prince Yan. There was a hint of joy in their expressions. How did you find me? Yan Chuan asked curiously. Prince Yan is indeed not an ordinary person. Now that we're here, we just have to ask around and we'll know where Prince Yan is. Qing Long said excitedly. That's right. Big Brother and I were prepared to rest in Worry-Free City for a while before heading to Beijing. However, everyone in Worry-Free City was talking about Prince Yan's miraculous abilities. At that time, I thought that it was someone else with the same name. To think that it was really Prince Yan. White Tiger is impressed. Miao's expression suddenly changed. Prince Yan. White Tiger was about to say something when he was interrupted. Miao, what did you just say? Miao stood up immediately. I just realized that Prince Yan, this little cat, can talk. It's true. Cat, your sister. You're the cat. Your whole family are cats. Miao immediately scolded. White Tiger's expression stiffened. He's not a cat. He's a tiger. You've got the wrong person. Also, Miao, you can't be rude. Yan Chuan said. Oh. So it's a tiger. It was a slip of the tongue. White Tiger smiled apologetically. Say it again. What's your name? Miao said sternly. My name is White Tiger. What's wrong? White Tiger was confused. White Tiger, your uncle. You're a human. How can you be a white tiger? Miao suddenly shouted. White Tiger's expression stiffened again. It's just a name. Miao, stop fooling around. Yan Chuan said. No, he's not allowed to be called White Tiger. I'm the White Tiger. Don't call me that, don't call me that. Miao shouted. Everyone. It's just a name. Miao, don't be so overbearing. Yan Chuan frowned. This isn't overbearing. This is a matter of principle. If he's a white tiger, what am I? Miao shouted. Principle? Yan Chuan was amused. This is a matter of principle. It's like you have a donkey and you call it human every day. Do you think you're insulting the donkey or yourself? Miao insisted. Yan Chuan was stunned by this line of thought. Miao was right. Looking at things from a different perspective was different. Yan Chuan turned his head to look at White Tiger, who was about to meet a tragic end. White Tiger looked confused. Donkey? Chapter 398. White Tiger, I think you should change your name. After a long debate, the Azure Dragon looked at the aggrieved White Tiger with a conflicted expression. Change my name? White Tiger looked at Qinglong with a sad face. This is too much. Meow. Meow nodded insistently. White Tiger looked at Meow, who was wearing a small felt hat. Her originally cute image was now a bad person. Big brother, this name was given by the saint. If I change it, no. White Tiger was still making a final struggle. It's okay, I'll tell Mo Yushi. Yan Chuan interrupted. White Tiger. White Tiger knew how important Yan Chuan was in Mo Yushi's heart. During this period, although Mo Yushi didn't say it out loud, her attitude showed that she missed Yan Chuan. Change? White Tiger wanted to cry but had no tears. How did this happen? Change it, a name is just a code. Qinglong persuaded again. Big brother. White Tiger was at a loss. Change it, you're insulting Meow's personality, no, Meow's tiger character. Qinglong persuaded again. White Tiger wanted to bang his head against the wall, but could only nod. Then if I don't call myself White Tiger, what should I call myself? White Tiger said gloomily. Meow. So many names, Little White, Little Tiger, by Little Tiger, who by, who by. Meow suddenly became happy. White Tiger. What do you want to be called? Qinglong asked. I'll be called Dragon like Big Brother, I'll be called Bai Long. White Tiger gloomily chose a name for himself. Okay, Bai Long. Qinglong smiled and nodded. Bai Long. Not bad. Meow Meow complimented. Bai Long looked at Meow and unconsciously took a step back. This was a little devil. I haven't seen you for 2 years and you've already reached the emptiness realm. Yan Chuan looked at Qinglong and sighed. Yes, thanks to Prince Yan's help last time, I have reached the emptiness realm, and so has the Saintess. Bai Long will be there soon. Qinglong said with a smile. Yes. Please come in. Yan Chuan invited with a smile. Actually, we're here to invite Prince Yan on behalf of the Holy Maiden. Qinglong didn't enter the hall. Instead, he spoke concisely. Oh. Yan Chuan asked doubtfully. We've received news that a great treasure might have appeared in the ruins of the Undying Holy Land. The Holy Maiden wants to fight for it, so we'd like your help. Qinglong said solemnly. Undying Holy Land? What do you mean? Yan Chuan asked curiously. 6,000 years ago, the most powerful sect in the East wasn't my Dazhao Holy Land, but the Undying Holy Land. However, for some reason, the Undying Holy Land was destroyed. After the Undying Holy Land was destroyed, my Dazhao Holy Land rose and became the new Holy Land. Qinglong explained. A destroyed Holy Land? The ruins of the Undying Holy Land? What news did you get? Yan Chuan asked doubtfully. Rumor has it that 5 months ago, multicolored light soared into the sky from the Undying Holy Land. Although no one knows why, they all understand that there must be a heavenly treasure that caused the multicolored light to soar into the 9 heavens. Thinking about the location of that place, it must be a huge treasure left behind by the Undying Holy Land 6,000 years ago. Oh. Yan Chuan asked doubtfully. Some experts from my Dazhao Holy Land have already gone there, including Mr. Monroe. However, this time, they are assisting Guyu Holy Sun. Not only Guyu Holy Sun, but other holy sons and saintesses of the Dazhao Holy Land have also gone there. The saintess wants to ask for your help. Qinglong explained. Chapter 399. Qinglong looked at Yan Chuan as if he was worried that Yan Chuan would reject him. The treasure of the Undying Sanctuary? Is it far? I'm going to participate in the Julu Academy's Heavenly Bestowal Conference. I'm worried that it'll be too late. Yan Chuan said rationally. Ah, it's not too late. There's still time. The saint is also planning to go and it's on the way. We'll definitely make it. Qinglong said. On the way? Yes, the ruins of the Undying Sanctuary are on the way to the Julu Academy. Bai Long said. Dalu. Yan Chuan, you have nothing to do in Carefree City. Let's go and take a look. There might be a lot of spiritual stones there. Miao's eyes lit up. Yan Chuan thought for a while and finally nodded. All right. That's great. With Prince Yan around, we'll definitely get the treasure. Qinglong smiled. Ha ha ha, yes. Even if we can't get the treasure, the saint will be very happy with Prince Yan around. Bai Long also laughed. Meow. The saint will be happy. What do you mean? Meow's gossipy soul was ignited again. Unfortunately, White Tiger's heart had just been broken by Meow Meow, so it ignored Meow Meow. Big guy, tell me. Meow said anxiously. Humph. Bai Long ignored her. Stingy guy. Meow said helplessly. Bai Long's face twitched. He was determined to stay away from Meow. Huoguang. Yan Chuan turned to Huoguang. Yes, Your Majesty. Huoguang said solemnly. I'll be away for a few years. From today onwards you'll be the acting mayor of Carefree City. When I'm not around, you'll be in charge of Carefree City. Guard Carefree City well. Yan Chuan said solemnly. Ah. This subject is not going. Huoguang asked in surprise. Yan Chuan smiled and said, you can already be independent. In the future, take good care of the First Legion. Yes. Huoguang replied solemnly. My king, what about that old slave? Lu Jin asked worriedly. You stay as well. During this period of time, you will be in charge of the various tedious preparations for establishing the nation. Once I return, I will establish the nation. Yan Chuan said solemnly. Yes. Lu Jin nodded. King, this space scroll. Lu Jin took off the space scroll on her back. There's no need for that. Meow's hat is also a spatial treasure. There's a space inside. Don't worry. I've already pacified this place. Just wait for me to come back and establish my country. Yan Chuan smiled. Yes. The two of them answered. Yan Chuan left behind a few more letters and took some things. Then, he brought Meow, Qinglong, and Bai Long and soared into the sky. On a white cloud, Qinglong and Bai Long brought Yan Chuan and flew quickly. Prince Yan, the saintess is waiting for us in Ice Snow City. Let's go there and meet up with the saintess first. Qinglong said. N. Yan Chuan nodded. The group flew for a month. After passing through countless regions, they finally arrived at Ice Snow City. When they reached the outskirts of the city, Yan Chuan called for Qinglong to stop. At a glance, it was a boundless snowfield. In the distance, in the middle of the snowfield, there was a huge white city. A large number of cultivators entered and exited the city. At a glance, the city was slightly bigger than Carefree City. There's so much snow. Meow said in surprise. The sky was filled with snow. It was extremely strange. Other than this snowfield, the temperature in the outer regions was not high at all. It was extremely abrupt to appear in the snow-covered region. This is Ice Snow City. We don't know why either. Anyway, the surroundings are covered in snow all year round. It seems like it has been here for a few thousand years. It has always been like this. Qinglong was puzzled. This Ice Snow City actually belongs to the saintess. Bai Long smiled. Chapter 400. Oh. I heard that it used to belong to the saintess's father. After the saintess's father died, this place was naturally inherited by the saintess. Other sects would not dare to have any ideas about the property of the Dajiao's sacred ground. Qing Long said proudly. Let's go. Yan Chuan nodded. This area was covered in ice and snow, but the temperature was not enough to freeze Yan Chuan. The group arrived at the entrance of Ice Snow City in the blink of an eye. Ice Snow City originally belonged to Mo Yushi, so the guards naturally did not dare to stop Qing Long's group. After entering the city, the interior of the city was similar to Carefree City, but there were more features of ice crystals. It was extremely beautiful. The group quickly flew to a huge floating island in the center. On the floating island, the palaces were all made of ice crystals. It was extremely dreamy. Greetings to the Qing Long Guard and the White Tiger Guard. A large number of guards came over and greeted respectfully. Bai Long's face flushed red. Clearly, he remembered the heartache of being forced to change his name a month ago. You may leave. Qing Long Guard waved his hand. Yes. Everyone retreated. The group arrived at the center of Ice Snow Palace. I will go and call the Saintess. Qing Long said. I will go too. Bai Long shouted. Meow. Coward. Meow said disdainfully. Yan Chuan smiled and nodded. After Qing Long and Bai Long left, Yan Chuan walked around. Many servants looked at Yan Chuan curiously. In the city, other than the Saintess, Qing Long and the White Tiger were next. However, the two of them were so polite to this man who was carrying a kitten. Who was he? Yan Chuan walked and walked. Suddenly, his expression changed. Meow. Big hooligan, what happened to you? Meow hugged a spirit stone and asked curiously. Don't talk. Let me be alone. Yan Chuan shook his head. Yan Chuan stood in front of Ice Snow Palace with his eyes closed. Buzz. Yan Chuan felt his bloodline tremble slightly. It was extremely light. If Yan Chuan's spirit was only at the essence realm, he wouldn't be able to sense it. However, although Yan Chuan's cultivation was at the essence realm, his willpower and spirit were at the emptiness realm. His sense of self was different from that of others. A slight tremor in his bloodline? Why was it trembling? It was so weak that he almost couldn't feel it. My bloodline. Did his bloodline sense something in Ice Snow City? Could it be related to my bloodline? Yan Chuan frowned. Buzz. The more he sensed, the weaker the trembling of the bloodline became. Meow also stopped eating spirit stones and looked at Yan Chuan curiously. No, it's not my bloodline that's sensing something. Something is sensing my bloodline. Someone or something is sensing my bloodline. I'm the passive party, and the other party is the one sensing it. He's sensing me. And he's directly sensing my bloodline? Yan Chuan was surprised and guessed the possibility. At this moment, Qing Long and Bai Long walked over again. Prince Yan, the Saintess went ahead with Rosefinch and Xuanwu because of something. She asked the housekeeper to inform us. If the Saintess doesn't appear, we'll go there ourselves. Qing Long smiled bitterly. Yan Chuan slowly opened his eyes. Prince Yan, why are you standing here with your eyes closed? Bai Long asked curiously. I want to stay here for a few days. Yan Chuan shook his head and said. Ah. Qing Long and Bai Long were surprised. Please help me look for the history of Ice Snow City. I want to take a look. Can we go to the ruins of the Immortal sacred land in a few days? Yan Chuan said in a deep voice. Ah, okay, no problem. After all, no one has found the treasures of the Immortal sacred land yet. Qing Long nodded strangely. Bai Long also looked at Yan Chuan in confusion. How about this? Bai Long, go to Mo Yushi first and tell her that I'll be late. Yan Chuan thought for a while and said. All right. Bai Long, do as Prince Yan says. Qing Long nodded. Chapter 401. How about this? Bai Long, go to Mo Yushi first and tell her that I will be late. Yan Chuan said after thinking for a while. That's good too. Bai Long, do as Prince Yan says. Qing Long nodded. But. No buts. The saintess said that when she's not here, listen to Prince Yan. Moreover, with me here, no one can hurt Prince Yan. Qing Long said in a low voice. Okay. Bai Long nodded. After Bai Long left, Yan Chuan stayed in the ice palace. In the ice palace, Yan Chuan sat cross-legged with his eyes closed, constantly sensing the outside world. He stayed there for 2 days. However, he still couldn't find where the feeling came from. Meow. Meow lifted the roof tiles and jumped into the palace from the roof, waking Yan Chuan up. What's wrong? Yan Chuan asked curiously. Yesterday, you read that Ice Snow City suddenly appeared about 5 to 6,000 years ago. Today, I looked around and found that this Ice Snow City seems to be a city guard. Meow said. City guard? What's a city guard? Yan Chuan asked curiously. It's a city of ice and snow. What is it trying to do? Meow Meow said. Oh. Really? A city guard? Yan Chuan was surprised. Yes, I have recovered some of my memories. I remember that there is such a method. The thing you are looking for might be under Ice Snow City. Meow said after thinking for a while. Under Ice Snow City? Logically speaking, after thousands of years, if there is something underground, it should have been discovered long ago. Yan Chuan didn't understand. No, this city guard is not ordinary. It requires a huge amount of power. It's not a mortal method. Meow recalled. Immortal? Yan Chuan's eyes lit up. Meow thought for a moment and said, at the very least, it was an immortal who used great power to open up a space and then used Ice Snow City to attack. Therefore, the thing that was attacked was not underground, but in a new space under the city. Then how do we break it? Yan Chuan asked. Destroy the city. Meow confirmed. Yan Chuan nodded. Sensing one's bloodline was also an extraordinary method. Even Yan Chuan couldn't do it in his previous life. Now that something was sensing him, it was related to him. Yan Chuan had to figure it out. With Meow by his side, Yan Chuan stood up and opened the door to the hall. As soon as the door opened, he heard the noise from the outside world. Mo Yushi, come out. I'm Yang Zigu. A loud shout came from outside the palace. Yang Zigu. Yan Chuan's expression changed slightly. It was the son of Mohina Dojin who went with Mo Yushi to the Feng Shui formation. When the door opened, Yan Chuan immediately saw Qing Long blocking 5 figures. The leader was Yang Zhijiu, and there were 4 attendants behind him. When the door opened, Yang Zigu's face was filled with joy. However, when he saw Yan Chuan, his pupils shrank. Yan Chuan. Why are you here? Yang Zigu said with a gloomy face. Young Master Yang, I already said that the saintess is not here. The saintess has already gone to the ruins of the Immortal Sanctum. Qing Long smiled bitterly. What about him? Why is he here? Yang Zigu looked at Yan Chuan unhappily. The Immortal Sanctum may have a Feng Shui formation. Young Master Yang is proficient in Feng Shui, so the saintess invited Prince Yan. Unfortunately, when I brought Prince Yan back, the saintess had already left. Qing Long explained. Hearing this explanation, Yang Zigu secretly sighed, but still looked at Yan Chuan impatiently. In that case, let's go. Yang Zigu said. Chapter 402. Young Master Yang, you can go there by yourself. There are many people from the Dazhao holy ground there. It seems that your brother, Guyu Holy Son, is also there. You don't have to wait for us. Qing Long smiled. Guyu? Yang Zigu showed a hint of displeasure. I'll follow you. Are you going or not? Yang Zigu said coldly. I'm very sorry. The Saintess has plans for me. I won't leave until I'm done with my business. Qing Long said directly. You, how dare you? Yang Zigu shouted angrily. Young Master Yang, please understand that I only listen to the Saintess. The others, including the 3 Tao Lords, have no right to order me around. Qing Long said with a solemn expression. You, Yang Zigu snorted coldly again. Young Master Yang, why don't you all go first? Qing Long persuaded again. No, I'll follow you. If you leave, I'll leave. Yang Zigu said stubbornly. All right, then young Master Yang can stay here for a few days. Qing Long said helplessly. Yang Zigu left slowly with his 4 subordinates. Prince Yan, I'm sorry to have startled you. Qing Long said with a smile. No worries. Why is Yang Zigu here? Yan Chuan asked curiously. Yang Zigu? He has been pestering the Saintess. He should take a piss and look in the mirror. Is he worthy? The Saintess has never shown him any respect. It's a pity that he's too thick-skinned. Qing Long said disdainfully. Yan Chuan nodded. Prince Yan, have you found what you want? Qing Long asked doubtfully. Almost, but the price is not small. Yan Chuan smiled bitterly. Oh. I want to push down the 4 walls of Ice Snow City and break into the city. Yan Chuan said in a deep voice. Ah. Qing Long looked at Yan Chuan in shock. Can't I? Then I'll convince Miss Mo when I see her. Yan Chuan sighed slightly. No, I can. Qing Long looked at Yan Chuan with a conflicted expression. Oh. Although the Saintess isn't the strongest in the Dazhao Holy Land, she has a lot of properties. In terms of cities, the Saintess has as many as 8. The Saintess will definitely be able to take out this city. Moreover, even if we destroy the city wall, no sect will dare to have any ideas about us. We can just rebuild the city wall in the future. Qing Long said with certainty. Alright, thanks a lot. Yan Chuan smiled. Prince Yan is so serious. There must be something very important to Prince Yan. The Saintess has instructed us to listen to everything Prince Yan says. I will do my best to assist. Qing Long said. Yan Chuan nodded. Qing Long would personally make the arrangements. Although the guards in the city didn't understand, they still did as they were told. Boom! The ceiling array of Ice Snow City was removed. Qing Long brought Yan Chuan and flew into the sky. On the peak of a mountain not far away, Yang Zigu and 4 attendants were also staring at Qing Long. Rumble. The cultivators in the surroundings were continuously removing the array on Ice Snow City's walls. Is Qing Long crazy? Yang Zigu looked at the sky not far away in shock. It seems like he wants to destroy the city. I wonder how the Saintess Mo Yushi is going to punish him. One of the attendants shouted. Yan Chuan and Qing Long were waiting in the sky. The removal of the array in Ice Snow City shocked the entire city. Countless citizens put down everything they were doing and looked around. Prince Yan, the 4 people beside Yang Zigu are his attendants. Among the 4 of them, Dongyang, Nanyang, Xiang, and Beiyang, Dongyang's cultivation is the highest. He is in the divine realm. The other 3 are in the Qi realm. Qing Long explained. Yan Chuan looked below and nodded lightly. Chapter 403. The entire city obeyed the order. In less than 2 hours, all the formations were withdrawn. The world suddenly became colder. The cold wind whistled and snow swirled in the air. I was right, wasn't I? This is a town. If the fog gets weaker, the snow will get heavier. Meow said confidently. Huh? Qing Long looked at Meow in surprise. He just found out that this broken city was actually Meow's idea. Where did this Meow come from? Let's begin. Yan Chuan said. N. Qing Long nodded. Break. Qing Long shouted in all directions. His voice instantly spread throughout Ice Snow City. Boom. 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 The sound of many Xiuzha attacking came from all directions. The enormous impact quickly destroyed Ice City, which had 5,000 to 6,000 years of history. Rumble. A large number of city walls collapsed. Whoo! The frost was getting bigger and bigger. Ah, so cold. Why is it so cold? I can't take it anymore. I'm leaving the city. The people quickly dodged in shock. More and more city walls collapsed, and the city grew colder and colder. Under the former city lord manor, snow and fog gathered, forming a giant whirlpool. Meow, it's there. Meow said excitedly. Young Master Yang, look, what's going on over there? One of Yang Zigu's attendants called out. Who? Yan Chuan, Qing Long, Yang Zigu, and the others quickly flew towards the center. Rumble. The ice and snow danced and formed a huge whirlpool. In the center of the whirlpool, there seemed to be a huge entrance. Buzz. Yan Chuan felt that the feeling had become even stronger. Qing Long, please guard the entrance for me. I'll go in and take a look. Yan Chuan said solemnly. Be careful. Qing Long nodded. Who? Yan Chuan jumped into the cave with Meow. As soon as he landed, he heard noises from the outside world. Qing Long, get out of the way. Yang Zigu's voice rang out. Young Master Yang, please conduct yourself with dignity. Qing Long immediately stopped him. Why did you let Yan Chuan in? Why can he enter? Yang Zigu roared angrily. Qing Long still looked at them coldly and said, with me here, none of you can think about going in. Get out of my way. Yang Zigu roared. Rumble. Rumbling sounds came from the outside, but Yan Chuan did not care about the outside world and continued to walk inside. Below, it was like a crystal chamber with a large number of stairs. Yan Chuan followed the stairs and walked step by step into the depths, being careful of unknown mechanisms. Unfortunately, there were no traps along the way. Finally, they reached the end. There were a large number of night-luminescent pearls in the surroundings. It was a huge sealed secret room. Ah! Meow exclaimed. The secret room was very simple and empty. There were only two special things in the room. On the wall of the secret room, there was a long bronze saber. The handle was wide and thick, but the tip of the saber had a beautiful arc. It was a long saber that was filled with ferocity. On the long saber, two words suddenly appeared. Green kill. Although there was no aura, Yan Chuan could feel the weight of the saber. It was no weaker than his Jade Emperor sword. The green kill saber was stuck on the wall, and there was a line of words that seemed to be carved by fingers on the wall. From today onwards, you are the new saber demon. The line of words was filled with dominance. Just by looking at it, one would feel like they were being stabbed by thousands of sabers. It was very oppressive. Of course, this was not the reason why Meow exclaimed. In other words, Meow did not see the scene here. Meow was looking at the center of the secret room. There was a 3-foot-long cube of ice. A woman in white was sealed in the ice. She stared at the green kill saber on the wall, motionless. The woman had long hair, starry eyes, and sharp eyebrows. Although she was not a peerless beauty, she had a heroic aura. She should be a strong-willed woman. However, although the woman was sealed in ice, her eyes showed that she was crying before she was sealed in ice. She was motionless in the ice coffin for who knows how long. Yan Chuan's senses came from this frozen woman. Is she sensing me? Chapter 404. Meow, is this the person? Meow asked in surprise. That's right, she's the one who's sensing me. Yan Chuan said gravely. She sensed you. Why is she sensing you? She's still alive. Meow. Meow exclaimed. Crash. The huge ice coffin seemed to be melting quickly. Soon, a layer of melted water overflowed from the bottom. The seal on the city has been broken, and the spell on the ice is gone. The ice coffin is going to melt, and she's coming out. Meow said. Crash. The ice coffin melted faster and faster. Gradually, the woman was revealed. Buzz. The woman trembled slightly, as if she could move. Buzz. The woman twitched as if she had just woken up from a frozen environment. Alive, she's really still alive. Meow. Pa 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 pa. More and more of the ice melted, and the woman fell straight to the ground. Yan Chuan didn't go forward to help him. Instead, he looked on coldly. The woman twitched and gradually regained her ability to move. Cough 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 cough. He let out a series of long coughs, as if he was coughing out warm air. Gently, the woman stood up shakily. He stared at the bronze knife stuck in the wall. He staggered forward. Buzz. The bronze saber trembled slightly, as if it had sensed the woman's presence and was vibrating with joy. The woman did not look at the saber but at the words on the wall. From today onwards, you are the new blade demon. The woman reached out with her right hand and touched a line of words on the wall. Father, why is this happening? The woman cried out in pain. As he had just woken up, his throat had yet to recover, so it was still very hoarse. After crying for a while, the woman decisively pulled out the bronze knife that was stuck in the wall. Boom! The woman's strength was very great. With a pull, the fierce and long bronze saber appeared in her hand. He stroked the words Qing Sha on the bronze saber. Father, we really shouldn't have come here. We really shouldn't have come here. You said that my saber nature is stronger than yours. But before, your daughter was too naughty, the woman said painfully. The woman's eyes turned cold. She grabbed the long saber with one hand and pulled her long hair with the other. She pulled the long saber towards her long hair. Bang! The beautiful long hair was instantly cut off by the woman, turning it into short hair. Furthermore, she cut the words on the wall. Father, this is absolutely irreconcilable. Father, I will avenge you. I swear in the name of the new Blade Devil that there will be a day when I will kill all my enemies and kill everything. The woman's eyes revealed a malevolent expression. Roar! The woman snorted. Who? The woman turned her head and looked at Yan Chuan with hostility in her eyes. Screech! With the Jade Emperor's sword out, Yan Chuan looked at the woman coldly. I can sense you. Are you Yan Zizai's descendant? The woman asked in a low voice. My name is Yan Chuan. I don't know who Yan Zizai is. You? Do you know any super divine abilities? The woman asked in a low voice. Taking a deep breath, Yan Chuan nodded and said, that's right. This is the super Shen that I inherited from my bloodline. Then there's no mistake. This super Shen was created by Yan Zizai. You must be his descendant. Father placed a lead in my bloodline, and what he sensed was actually Yan Zizai's bloodline. Why did father do that? The woman asked in confusion. Super Shen. Yan Zizai. Yan Chuan could probably believe what the woman said. After all, super Shen was very secretive. You know my ancestor? Yan Chuan asked solemnly. Sword Demon Yan Zizai. My father is the Blade Demon. The two of them used to be close friends. Since you're the descendant of sword demon Yen Zizai, you'll be responsible for protecting me for a month. The woman said bluntly. Chapter 405. Who are you? Yen Chuan asked with a frown. My father is dead. I am the new blade demon. You can call me Empress. The woman said coldly. Empress? Meow. Meow looked at the woman in shock. Put away your sword. The Empress said lightly. Yen Chuan looked at the woman and finally nodded. He put the sword back into the sheath on his back. This is one of the swords in the set, right? The woman said lightly. Yen Chuan squinted his eyes. Don't look at me like that. My father and Yen Zizai often went out. I followed them. Naturally, I know something about swords. The Empress said in a deep voice. No. How did you know? Yen Chuan said seriously. The Emperor's eyesight was too exaggerated. Until now, no one had been able to tell that the Jade Emperor's sword was actually one of a set of swords. No one knew, but the Emperor in front of him had seen through it with a single sentence. Your sword has been refined to perfection. For most sword cultivators, their initial swords were extremely crude. As their cultivation increased, they would constantly perfect the sword that was suitable for them, making it more and more suitable for them. But your sword is different. Your sword is not rough. With your cultivation in the essence realm, you have this sword, but it is not someone else's sword. It must be a set of swords that you want to refine. The Empress said in a deep voice. The Empress did not say how she knew that the sword was not someone else's, but it was enough. Meow, is she right? Meow looked at Yen Chuan curiously. Yen Chuan did not answer, but his silence said everything. Yen Zizai once said that it is very difficult to refine a set of swords. Many sets of swords are neither fish nor fowl. It is better to specialize in one sword. But once it is formed, its power is not something that can be replaced by one sword. Yen Zizai refined this set of swords. The Empress said lightly. Since you're from the same era as my ancestor, why do you need me to protect you for a month? Yen Chuan asked in a deep voice. I've been sealed here by my father for so many years that I've lost most of my cultivation. I need a month to recover some of it. You only need to protect me. I don't need you to help me break through. The Emperor said coldly. From the very beginning, the Emperor's expression was incomparably cold. Yen Chuan coldly looked at the Emperor. After a long period of silence, Shaoqin digested the information that the Sovereign Emperor just revealed and analyzed everything. The Emperor also waited quietly. All right. Yen Chuan finally nodded. Divine ability. Yen Chuan knew very well that this was something that only immortals could create. Could his ancestor, Yen Zizai, create a divine ability? Didn't that mean that Yen Zizai was already an immortal at that time? This woman's cultivation was unknown at that time, but it was definitely not low. It was just like him. Even though he had lost all his cultivation in his previous life, he still had the power to fight back against the strong. This woman was the same. It was not suitable for her to take risks. Why not do her a favor? Let's go. There's nothing in here. Let's get out of here as soon as possible. I still have to investigate my father's death back then. The Emperor said coldly. Okay. Yen Chuan nodded. The two of them and the cat slowly retreated along the path that they came from. Along the way, the woman's expression was incomparably cold. When they reached the exit. Qing Long, how dare you hit my people? How dare you hit Dongyang? Yang Zigu's noisy voice could be heard. Yen Chuan and the Emperor stepped out of the ice cave and immediately saw the scene outside. A large number of strong cultivators had already rushed over, but they all looked from afar and did not dare to step forward. Only Yang Zigu and his group dared to offend Qing Long. Yang Zigu's four subordinates were lying on the ground. Obviously, they were seriously injured. Yang Zigu and Qing Long were tit for tat. When the two of them walked out, the original conflict suddenly stopped. They looked at each other in surprise. Chapter 406. Huh? Another one? Yang Zigu looked at the emperor in surprise. One had to know that Yan Chuan was the only one who had entered earlier. Why was there another one? Qing Long was also surprised. 7 days later, in a forest. Yan Chuan, Miao, Qing Long, and Yang Zigu stopped at the top of a mountain. Below them, the emperor held a long saber in his hand. Chi! 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 With a flash of blood, 10 huge demon wolves fell to the ground. The emperor kept his saber and looked at the result of his battle coldly. Prince Yan, who is this? Qing Long asked with a complicated expression. Just treat him as a friend. Yan Chuan smiled. Miao, what friend? You look so cold every day. Did your father die? I think he died. Miao Miao was halfway through her reprimand when she realized what was going on. On the side, Yang Zhijiu also coldly looked at the emperor at the foot of the mountain. Young master, this woman is too strange. One of the attendants said with a terrible expression. Huh? Her cultivation is improving too fast. 1 level a day. When we saw her that day, she was only at LV1 of the power realm. After killing demon beasts in the forest for a few days, she improved by 1 level a day. Now she's already at LV6 of the power realm. This is too strange. 1 level a day. The attendant said with a strange expression. Yes, and she killed 10 demon beasts today. Young master, she's only at the power realm. These 10 demon wolves, no matter how weak their cultivation is, they're at least at the essence realm. This doesn't make sense. Yang Zigu's face was gloomy. Qing Long, when are we leaving? Yang Zigu asked. Young Master Yang can go first. Qing Long said with a smile. I'll follow you. Yang Zigu snorted. Below them, the emperor did not care about the demon beasts' corpses. He walked to the side and took out some food. Space treasure. What kind of spatial magic treasure is she using? Yang Zigu was filled with confusion. 10,000-year stalactite milk? Qing Long exclaimed. The emperor swallowed the 10,000-year stalactite milk and sat for a while. Boom! A muffled sound rang out, and with the emperor as the center, a gust of wind blew out in all directions. Another breakthrough? 7th LV of the power realm? Was she a demon? Don't you need to stabilize your realm with every level you advance? Yang Zigu was surprised. Another 10 days passed. It was still the same forest. Boom! A wild boar demon at the peak of the fine realm fell to the ground. The emperor sat down cross-legged again. He took out something from his spatial treasure and swallowed it before sitting down cross-legged again. Boom! The emperor had broken through again. Dongyang, how is it? Yang Zigu asked. She broke through again, LV5 of the essence realm. She broke through again in less than 2 days. Yang Zigu's servant said with a complicated expression. Who is she? Yang Zigu frowned. Young master, why don't we let Beiyang test her tonight? Dongyang said. All right. Yang Zigu nodded. On the other side, Yan Chuan approached the emperor. Can we talk? Yan Chuan asked. The emperor opened his eyes and looked at Yan Chuan. No need. I'll leave once the 30 days are up. Are you accumulating killing intent? Yan Chuan asked curiously. The emperor glanced at Yan Chuan and said, I'm condensing my saber will. I'll be done in a month. Then I won't have to trouble you anymore. Okay. Yan Chuan nodded. Do you want me to kill those 5 for you? The emperor asked. Huh? Yan Chuan followed the emperor's gaze. It was Yang Zigu and the other 4. He smiled bitterly and shook his head. You can't kill the leader. I still need him. I know. The emperor nodded and closed his eyes, ignoring Yan Chuan. Chapter 407. It was night time. In the forest. Inside a tent. Yang Zigu waited impatiently. Yang Zigu and the other 2 attendants were also in the tent. Why isn't Bei Yang back yet? Yang Zigu asked. Although Bei Yang is in the early stage of Qi Jing, he should be back soon. One of the attendants said. Useless. Yang Zigu scolded. The 4 of them waited impatiently in the tent. The sun was about to rise. Dong Yang, go and find Bei Yang. Yang Zigu said angrily. Yes. 2 hours later. Yang Zigu and the 3 attendants stood quietly in front of a mountain. There was a corpse lying on the ground. It was Bei Yang who had not returned for the night. He killed Bei Yang with 1 strike. Dong Yang said with an unsightly expression. He accurately slashed Bei Yang's major acupoints. Is it that girl? That's impossible. Impossible. She is only in the essence state. Everyone was in disbelief. Let's go and have a look. Yang Zigu said coldly. They ignored Bei Yang's corpse and went to the top of a mountain. Looking from afar, they saw the emperor practicing his saber art in the middle of a pack of demon wolves. LV6 of the essence state. Dong Yang exclaimed. It was not because his cultivation was too high, but because his cultivation was too fast. He was only at LV5 of the essence state yesterday. Boom! In the distance, nearly 10 demonic wolves soared into the sky with a loud rumble. Several saber lights flashed, and the 10 demonic wolves were instantly beheaded. Bang! The 10 demon wolves fell to the ground. The emperor left the pack of demon wolves and took out some high-quality food from his space artifact. He swallowed it and sat down cross-legged. Let's go. Yang Zigu said coldly. The 4 of them were about to rush toward the emperor. Whoosh! Yan Chuan and Qing Long suddenly stood in front of the 4. Young Master Yang, where are you going? Yan Chuan smiled. It's none of your business. Get out of my way. Yang Zigu said coldly. I can let you go, but Dong Yang is not allowed. Yan Chuan shook his head. What did you say? Yang Zigu asked. My friend is speaking of the essence state. Dong Yang is too dangerous. It's better not to go. As for the other 3, I won't stop you. Yan Chuan said. Yan Chuan, are you looking down on me? Yang Zigu said. No, I'm just stating a fact. Yan Chuan smiled. Take Yan Chuan down. Yang Zhijiu ordered coldly. Who? Chuan Chuan's on. Chuan Chuan, Chuan Qing, are our words Chuan? Chuan 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 Chuan. Young Master Yang, don't be impatient. Please don't make things difficult for me. Qing Long shook his head. You. Yang Zigu stared coldly at Qing Long. Humph. Yang Zigu snorted, turned around, and left. In the valley, the emperor slowly woke up. He looked at Yan Chuan, who was blocking the enemy for him, and stepped into the forest again. When emperor entered the forest, Azure Dragon frowned and looked at Yan Chuan. Prince Yan, who is this woman? Why do I feel that her saber skills are getting stronger every day? Qing Long frowned. Oh. You can tell. Yan Chuan smiled. Yes, on the first day, her saber skills were still vulgar. But then, with each day, her saber skills improved tremendously. This is too strange. Qing Long frowned. Looking at the emperor who had entered the forest, Yan Chuan said, her name is the Emperor. She will rise like the sun. One day, her name will be known all over the world. Ah! Qing Long was surprised. Continue to protect her. If any divine realm demonic beasts barge in, continue to chase them away. Although this is a small matter to you now, you will be thankful for what you have done today in the future. Yan Chuan said in a deep voice. Chapter 408. Yes. I believe in Prince Yan. Qing Long nodded. In another mountain forest. This is infuriating. Infuriating. Damn that Yan Chuan. Damn that Qing Long. Yang Zigu grumbled. Young master, Qing Long is protecting that woman. What should we do? One of the attendants asked worriedly. That's right. That woman is insane. It's only been a few days and she's already reached LV6 of the essence state. It doesn't make sense. Nanyang, Xiang, go together tonight. Capture that woman for me. Yang Zigu ordered coldly. Yes. The two attendants answered. The next day, in another mountain valley. Yang Zigu's face twitched. Dong Yang stood in front of Yang Zigu with an equally ugly expression. Lying in front of them were the corpses of Nanyang and Xiang. She died in the same way as Beiyang. It must be her. Dong Yang said. Let's go and find them. Yang Zigu's face was frosty. Beside a large river. The emperor sat cross-legged. A whirlwind blew around him. The whirlwind formed a blade around the emperor. LV7 of the essence state. She's already at LV7. Dong Yang exclaimed. Get out of my way. Qing Long, get out of my way. Yang Zigu scolded. Young Master Yang, did the emperor kill your 3 attendants? Did you see it with your own eyes? Yan Chuan asked coldly. Meow. Meow glared at Yang Zigu. Capture her and we'll know once we interrogate her. Dong Yang shouted. Hee, that's impossible. Yan Chuan smiled. In the distance, the emperor slowly opened his eyes. Yan Chuan, let them come here. The emperor said. Yan Chuan frowned. Qing Long was puzzled. Yang Zigu led Dong Yang toward the emperor. Speak, did you kill my 3 attendants? Don't try to quibble. Yang Zigu said coldly. The emperor coldly looked at the 2 of them and said, those who offend me will die. I killed them. Since you admit it, don't blame me for being rude. Dong Yang, take him down. Yang Zigu said coldly. Yes. Xing. Dong Yang pulled out his sword, but the emperor slashed with his saber. Boom. The sword and saber collided. The emperor was sent flying, but Dong Yang took 2 steps back. Such power! Dong Yang exclaimed. In midair, the emperor took out a golden pill and put it into his mouth. Boom! The emperor's aura suddenly surged. Level 8 of the essence state. Qing Long exclaimed from afar. Meow, her cultivation is rising too fast. Yan Chuan shook his head. It's not an increase, it's recovery. The emperor's body had a high cultivation base to begin with. At this moment, it was just recovering. It was different from when he was reborn. Boom! The emperor stood on the surface of the river and swung his saber. A bone-chilling killing intent burst out. Crack! 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 The river was instantly frozen by the bone-chilling killing intent. Monster! Dong Yang's expression changed. He swung his sword at the emperor. Boom! A vast sword aura slashed down, instantly shooting out hundreds of sword chi towards the emperor. Boom! Emperor stomped the ground and shot toward Dong Yang at lightning speed. He followed the energy swords and shot toward Dong Yang. Whoosh! The emperor swung his saber, and a vicious saber light slashed at Dong Yang. Dong Yang's expression changed. The energy sword changed direction, and the saber and sword collided. Boom! The emperor was sent flying. He fell into the river again. Boom! A muffled sound came from the emperor's body. Level 9 of the essence state. Level 9 of the essence state. Dong Yang exclaimed. The emperor flicked his short hair and soared into the sky again. He charged toward Dong Yang. Chapter 409. Even though Dong Yang's cultivation was 2 levels higher than Huang's, he was still shocked by the increase in her cultivation. Heavenly light slash. Dong Yang roared and swung his sword at Huang. There seemed to be a huge transparent saber chi around the emperor, which collided with Dong Yang's attack. Saber chi. He's only in the essence state. How can he have saber chi? Qing Long exclaimed. That's saber will, not saber chi. Did she succeed? Yan Chuan was surprised. Saber will. Formed by will. When she reaches the chi state, then. Qing Long exclaimed. Boom! The saber will and the energy blade collided again. The powerful saber will actually shattered the sword aura of the divine realm. The sovereign was once again sent flying backward and fell into the river. 10th level of the essence state. Impossible. You can't have reached 10th level of the essence state. Dong Yang exclaimed. My cultivation increased by 1 level each time. How is that possible? My eyes must be playing tricks on me. Rumble. Suddenly, a series of rumbles sounded in the sky as dark clouds covered the sky. The second tribulation cloud had arrived. Is it really 10th level of the essence state? Really? Dong Yang exclaimed. Huang shot Dong Yang a cold glance and said, You've lost your chance. Chance? What do you mean? Dong Yang was puzzled. Dong Yang soon realized what Huang Xiaolong meant. Lost my chance. Humph. I have plenty of chances to kill you. Now that the tribulation cloud has arrived, you still want to fight me? 10th level of the essence state. I can start accumulating qi now. Huang said. Qi. Huang looked at the tribulation cloud in the sky coldly. Rumble. Lightning flashed as heavenly might descended. Part of the river that was frozen by the saber qi beneath Huang's feet began to thaw. The thawed river churned and created many saber waves. Rumble. The saber waves rose higher and higher into the sky as if they were challenging the heavenly tribulation. Boom. Finally, the heavenly tribulation began. 9 huge lightning bolts fell from the sky. Huang's eyes turned cold as he swung his saber at the sky. Boom. Following the outline of the long saber, a golden saber chi soared into the sky. The saber chi soared into the sky, growing larger and larger. The huge saber chi condensed from the sovereign saber intent was like a heavenly sword soaring into the sky. Wherever it passed, the 9 heavenly thunders from the sky would collapse. The saber chi was getting stronger and stronger. In the blink of an eye, it had grown to 10,000 feet in size. Impossible. Dong Yang stared at the scene in shock. Hong. Wherever the saber chi passed, the tribulation clouds in the sky were cut in half. Impossible. Yang Zigu exclaimed from afar. Qing Long was also in disbelief. Tribulation clouds? Those were tribulation clouds. Even if this woman was a pervert, she shouldn't be so exaggerated. A single slash had severed the tribulation clouds. Rumble. The severed tribulation clouds slowly dissipated, revealing a clear sky. The second level of heavenly tribulation had ended. Did he just cut the heavenly tribulation with a single slash? Other than Yan Chuan and Miao, everyone else was at a loss and cursed inwardly. First stage of Qi Jing. Qing Long said in confusion. Rumble. A huge wave suddenly appeared above the river. The wave was shaped like a saber and carried the sovereign higher and higher. In the blink of an eye, the saber had reached the same height as Dong Yang. Dong Yang gripped his long sword tightly. Although he knew that the sovereign had just reached the Qi state, he still felt like running away. Fear. Fear. The sovereign looked coldly at Dong Yang and said, "It's your turn." As he spoke, the sovereign sheathed his long bronze saber. However, a huge azure saber Qi appeared in front of the sovereign. Boom! The saber Qi condensed from the sovereign's will slashed at Dong Yang. Bastard! Dong Yang raised his sword and slashed at the sovereign. The sovereign's actions had deeply humiliated Dong Yang. Die! Dong Yang slashed at the sovereign. Buzz! The sovereign's saber Qi was like a supreme being descending from the heavens. Fish! The saber Qi continued onward as the huge saber Qi was cut in half. No! Dong Yang screamed as the saber Qi cut through his body. Bang! Dong Yang's body, which had been killed by the saber Qi, fell from the air. Immortal state. That's the immortal state. It doesn't make sense that the sovereign is only in the Qi state. Qing Long said in disbelief. Qing Long, save me! Yang Zigu screamed. The sovereign ignored Yang Zigu and looked at Yan Chuan. There's no need to wait a month. I'm strong enough to protect myself. See you later. Okay. Yan Chuan nodded. The sovereign stepped on the saber Qi and disappeared into the distance. Chapter 410. After watching the emperor leave, Yang Zigu finally caught his breath. Evildoer, evildoer. Yang Zigu muttered with lingering fear. Meow, I protected her for so many days, but she didn't even smile. So cold. Meow wagged its tail and said angrily. Alright, my business is done. Let's go to the undying Holy Land ruins now. Yan Chuan said with a serious face. N. Qing Long nodded. Bring me along, Qing Long, bring me along, I don't want to stay here. Yang Zigu immediately shouted. Qing Long looked at Yan Chuan, and Yan Chuan nodded. With a flick of his sleeves, Qing Long brought 2 people and a cat and quickly flew towards the southwest. Half a month later. The 3 of them had already arrived outside the undying Holy Land ruins. The Holy Maiden said that it's in front of the undying city. Qing Long explained while flying. Undying city? Yan Chuan asked doubtfully. After the undying Holy Land was annihilated, my Dazhao Holy Land opened up a city nearby and named it Undying City. Although it is very far from the Dazhao Holy Land, no sect dared to disturb us. Therefore, as long as the people from the Dazhao Holy Land came, they would all gather in the Undying City. The Holy Maiden should be there too. Qing Long said. In that case, the experts of the Dazhao Holy Land are all gathered in the Undying City now? Yan Chuan asked. It should be. Although the Undying Holy Land was glorious in the past, the current environment is extremely bad and the yin energy is dense. Therefore, most cultivators are unwilling to stay in the outside world. The nearby cultivators usually live in the city. Qing Long explained. N. Over there, we're here. Qing Long's eyesight immediately saw the distance. Not long after, a huge city appeared in front of the 3 of them. Whoosh! In a blink of an eye, everyone arrived at the Undying City. Entry and exit inspection. A guard at the city gate shouted. Are you blind? How dare I investigate? Yang Zigu immediately scolded. Ah, young Master Yang, I was mistaken, I was mistaken. The guard immediately recognized Yang Zigu and quickly apologized. And, where does Mo Yushi live? Yang Zigu shouted. Holy Maiden Mo Yushi. He lives in North Mo Hall. That's right, young Master Yang, your older brother lives in the city lord's mansion. Do you want him? That guard tried to curry favor. Who? Yang Zigu frowned. Guyu Holy Son, do you want me to inform him? The guard asked. Who said I want to see him? Don't block my way. Yang Zigu said coldly. Yes, yes. The guards naturally didn't dare to stop him. Yan Chuan's group also successfully entered the city. The Undying City was roughly the same size as the Worry-Free City. However, the population was slightly higher. Undying City, North Mo Hall. Mo Yushi, dressed in a black Confucian robe and holding a folding fan, paced back and forth in the hall. Her brows were deeply furrowed, as if she was thinking about something. Bai Long, Rosefinch, and Xuanwu stood in the hall. Rosefinch's expression was ugly. Holy Maiden, I've also lost. What should we do next? Yes, Mr. Monroe's chess skills are too strong. Although Rosefinch and I placed our pieces separately, it was still the Holy Maiden's chess skills that played the most. We've lost both rounds. What should we do? Xuanwu's expression was also ugly. Mo Yushi pinched the head of her folding fan and shook her head. Mr. Monroe. I learned my chess skills from him. It's not shameful to lose to him. The main reason is still Guyu. But, there's only one round left. In the morning, Guyu Holy Son also sent someone to urge us. Rosefinch said anxiously. Chapter 411. Mo Yushi thought for a moment, then turned to look at Bai Long. White Tiger, no, Bai Long. Mo Yushi called out. Bai Long had a conflicted look on his face. It seemed that his name had been decided and had been completely changed. Saintess. Bai Long sighed softly. Did Prince Yen mention anything? How long will he be here? Mo Yushi asked in a low voice. No, just a few days. I don't know the details. Bai Long shook his head. Saintess, will Prince Yen be useful? Rosefinch asked doubtfully. I have a feeling that he will be able to do it. Mo Yushi said in a low voice. Ah. Why? I didn't see him play chess last time. I heard from Mr. Monroe that he wanted to play a game with Yan Chuan. For Mr. Monroe to care so much, I think. Mo Yushi shook her head. She seemed to have thought of something and smiled subconsciously. Screech. A crane screech suddenly came from outside the hall. Mo Yushi looked out of the hall in confusion. Little crane, what's wrong? Mo Yushi asked in confusion. Bang! A huge red-crowned crane flew into the hall. Screech, screech. The red-crowned crane flapped its wings and looked out of the hall. Whoosh! Qing Long, Yan Chuan, and Yang Zigu placed their pieces on the square of North Mo Hall. They're here. That's great. Bai Long exclaimed. Yan Chuan is here. A smile appeared on Mo Yushi's face. Yushi, I'm here. I'm here. Yang Zigu shouted. The smile on Mo Yushi's face disappeared. Yang Zigu. Why are you here? Mo Yushi's face stiffened. I came to see you. Yang Zigu suddenly shouted. Mo Yushi looked at Yang Zigu and frowned. In the end, she sighed. Swish. In the distance, another figure landed on the square. It was a Taoist in purple. It was the servant who used to follow Guyu Holy Son. Saintess Mo Yushi, Mr. Monroe is already waiting for you at the cloud platform. If you don't go now, you'll be giving up your last chance, said the Taoist in purple. Ziwen, what's going on? Yang Zigu shouted. The purple-clothed Taoist saw Yang Zigu when he flew over. He didn't want to talk to him, but Yang Zigu asked, which made Ziwen frown. Ninth young master, this is a bet between the holy son and the holy daughter in the immortal city. Ziwen said respectfully. Oh. Bet? What do you mean? Yang Zigu asked in surprise. My great Zhao's sacred land is determined to obtain the treasures of the undying holy land, but it has attracted 2 holy sons and 2 holy daughters of my great Zhao's sacred land. However, the treasures are limited. In order to avoid harming the harmony when the time comes, we will first use a battle of wits. The defeated holy sons and holy daughters will retreat. Bet? Yang Zigu was surprised. A holy son and a holy daughter have already retreated. Now, only holy daughter Mo Yushi and Guyu holy son are left in the immortal city. Ziwen explained. Bet? I remember Guyu is not good at chess. Yang Zigu said in surprise. Guyu holy son sent Mr. Monroe. Ziwen said. I knew it. So it's a gunman. Ha ha ha. Yang Zigu said in disdain. Those who want to achieve great things don't need to do everything personally. Ziwen frowned. Achieve great things? Humph. Yang Zigu's face turned cold. Holy daughter, who do you want to send? Ziwen looked at Mo Yushi again. Bet? I like it. I'll do it. Yan Chuan suddenly said. Huh? Everyone turned to look. Ziwen looked at Yan Chuan and raised his eyebrows. Ziwen also saw Yan Chuan when he came here. Last time, Guyu Holy Son gave him the order to kill Yan Chuan. He thought that Yan Chuan was dead, but he didn't expect him to still be alive. And now he wanted to play chess. Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? Ziwen said coldly. You don't have to worry about whether I'm qualified or not. Yan Chuan smiled. Huh? Ziwen's eyes turned cold. Whoosh. Qing Long stood in front of Yan Chuan. That's right. Yan Chuan will fight for me in the 3rd round. Mo Yushi said immediately. Holy daughter, this person is extremely evil and disrespectful to the Dazhao Holy Son. I suggest we execute him. Ziwen said respectfully. Huh? He's my man. You dare to do anything to him? Mo Yushi's eyes turned cold. Ziwen looked at Mo Yushi in surprise. What was the relationship between Yan Chuan and Mo Yushi? Why was she so protective of him? Meow. This isn't your territory. What's the point of pointing fingers here? Are you a pig? Meow squinted and scolded. Huh? Ziwen's face darkened. Ha ha ha. Ziwen, you really do have some brains. Yang Zigu suddenly laughed. Ziwen's face turned red. He looked at Yang Zigu and didn't dare to get angry. Holy daughter, 9th young master, I'll leave first. As for the cloud platform game, please hurry up. Ziwen said angrily. Mo Yushi smiled faintly. No one paid any attention to Ziwen. Ziwen left angrily. Yan Chuan, how's your chess game? Don't lose to Yushi. Yang Zigu shouted. Take care of Miao for me. Yan Chuan said to Mo Yushi. Mo Yushi's eyes flashed with tenderness as she nodded. Meow. I want to go too. Meow started arguing. Meow likes spirit stones. Yan Chuan said to Mo Yushi. Mo Yushi's expression changed. She took out a sky blue stone. Meow, I'll give you some spirit stones to eat. Mo Yushi immediately called out. Obviously, Bai Long had already told Mo Yushi about Meow's existence. Supreme grade spirit stones. Meow. Meow immediately ran to Mo Yushi. I still have a lot. Don't disturb Yan Chuan's chess game, okay? Mo Yushi smiled. Sister Mo is so nice. If only you were Daliu, no, Yan Chuan's wife. In the future, Meow would have food to eat every day. Meow was bought over in the blink of an eye. Miao spoke without thinking, and Mo Yushi's face instantly turned red. Yan Chuan. Wife? What wife? Stupid cat, don't talk nonsense. Yang Zigu shouted. Cat, your sister. I've always disliked you. You're just a pretty boy with no ability. You took in 4 underlings, but they all died. Just now, when that pig was bullying Sister Mo, you didn't even dare to fart. Yan Chuan and I had to help stop him. Miao shouted. Although Miao was young, she was very specific when she scolded people. Every sentence she said was aimed at Yang Zigu's weak spot. You're pissing me off. Stupid cat, I'll teach you a lesson. Yang Zigu said angrily. If you have the ability, go find that pig. Miao hugged the supreme grade spirit stones and said disdainfully. Humph, Ziwen. I'll find him, but you won't have it easy either. Yang Zigu said. Pretty boy, you bully the weak and fear the strong. Miao continued to scold. Yang Zigu's face darkened again. He turned around and flew away. Everyone looked at the departing Yang Zhijiu in shock. Where is he going? Bai Long was confused. He's going to find Ziwen. Miao. Miao said proudly. Chapter 412. After Yang Zigu left, Mo Yushi liked Miao even more. She flipped her hand and took out 10 supreme grade spirit stones of different colors. Miao. Miao happily put the supreme grade spirit stones into her little felt hat. Sister Mo, you're so much better than Yan Chuan. Miao praised. Alright, Miao, don't push your luck. A few supreme grade spirit stones are enough. Yan Chuan said. I'm not asking you for them. Miao said disdainfully. Crunch. Miao bit on the supreme grade spirit stone and felt all the pores on her body open up. It was as if she was breathing, and she felt extremely comfortable. How's Mr. Monroe's chess skills? Do you have a chess manual? Yan Chuan asked the people around him. Yes, I'll show it to Prince Yan. Rosefinch immediately said. Mo Yushi thought for a while and said, This Mr. Monroe, I heard that when he was in the Jilu Academy, he was best at painting. Unfortunately, I've never seen him paint before. Painting? Yan Chuan was slightly surprised. Zither, chess, calligraphy, and painting are all fields that a scholar must learn. In the Jilu Academy, everyone was an expert. However, when it came to painting, I heard that Mr. Monroe had already reached the peak. Unfortunately, outside of the Jilu Academy, no one has seen him paint before. Even if he doesn't paint, he has great attainments in zither, chess, and calligraphy. Mo Yushi explained. Prince Yan, please take a look. Rosefinch quickly set up a chessboard, and the white and black pieces were quickly placed on it. Yan Chuan nodded lightly as he watched the pieces being placed. Not bad, Mr. Monroe's chess skills are indeed extraordinary. Yan Chuan nodded. How is it? Mo Yushi asked worriedly. Don't worry. Although his chess skills are extraordinary, he's still slightly inferior to my minister, Yi Feng. Yan Chuan smiled. Then, can we win? Qing Long asked expectantly. Yan Chuan nodded. Mo Yushi's the 4 servants all smiled. How did you two make the bet? Yan Chuan asked. Yang, Guyu, and the Holy Sun, Mo Yushi said seriously. Yang was. Of the 3 games, 3 games, 3 games, 3 games Chuan Lady in the Sun Saint Lady in the Holy Sun that was because we, Lady in the Sun Lu Nen and N and. That's all. Yan Chuan frowned. Yeah, why? Mo Yushi didn't understand. I mean, the Dazhao Holy Ground didn't just send the 4 saintesses and the Holy Sun, right? Yan Chuan asked doubtfully. Of course, there are still a few enlightened masters. Normally, they would follow the 4 of us blindly. The enlightened masters who originally followed the four of us gradually went to Gu Yu's camp because of Yang Gu Yu's repeated victories. He should have 7 or 8 enlightened masters. Mo Yushi said. Suddenly, Mo Yushi's expression changed. He seemed to have thought of something. You're saying? Mo Yushi asked in surprise. Guyu Holy Son. You do have some courage. For the next game, how about you listen to me? Yen Chuan asked. Mo Yushi nodded. Immortal City, Central City Lord Mansion. The City Lord Mansion was also a huge floating island. Outside the floating island, there were 7 or 8 small floating islands. On a floating island shrouded in white clouds, Mr. Monroe sat upright, waving a feather fan in his hand and a game of Go in front of him. Below him, a large number of strong people surrounded him, as if they were waiting. Whoosh! Qing Long brought Yen Chuan and flew to the floating island in an instant. They landed in front of Mr. Monroe. Chapter 413. Prince Yen. Mr. Monroe's eyes lit up. Mr. Monroe, it's been a long time. How about I play a game with you on behalf of Miss Mo? Yen Chuan smiled. Of course. Mr. Monroe nodded immediately. Sir, I'll be waiting below. Just let me know if you need anything. Qing Long said. Okay. Qing Long left. Only Yen Chuan and Wen Ruo were left on the huge floating island. Prince Yen, please. Mr. Monroe smiled. Please. Yen Chuan nodded. I heard from my sister that Prince Yen likes Tianyuan. Why don't you go first? Mr. Monroe smiled. Mr. Monroe, don't regret it. Yen Chuan smiled. Please. Pa. Yen Chuan took a black piece and placed it right on Tianyuan. Mr. Monroe raised his eyebrows and looked at Yen Chuan in surprise. What? Didn't you know that I would lose Tianyuan? Why do you look like that? Yen Chuan smiled. Mr. Monroe smiled bitterly. I thought you would place it somewhere else. Oh. I didn't ask you to lose Tianyuan. I just wanted to see if you wouldn't lose Tianyuan. Mr. Monroe smiled bitterly. Are you testing me? At least it proves that my sister is right. Prince Yen is a man of principles and is very stubborn about them. Mr. Monroe said. Perhaps. Everyone has their own perseverance. That is the foundation of everyone's life. Once you waver, you will lose yourself. Yen Chuan smiled and continued to place his piece. Well said. Let's meet in the game. Mr. Monroe said solemnly. Okay. Smack. 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 The two of them placed their pieces very quickly. At the same time, the floating island that the two of them were sitting on was like a magic treasure. When the two of them placed their pieces, a huge illusory image of a chessboard appeared in the void, showing the two of them placing their pieces. Countless shouja in all directions looked up at the sky. Who is this person? What kind of chess game was this? The first son, Tianyuan. Someone the saint is found? Will it work this time? That person's cultivation is only at the essence realm. He can't do it. Yeah, Mr. Monroe's chess skills have defeated many people. Looks like Holy Maiden Mo Yushi is going to end up like the other two Holy Son Holy Maidens. Negative voices came from all directions. In a restaurant, Mo Yushi's eyes were filled with determination. Holy Maiden, Mr. Monroe, and Young Master are placing their pieces very quickly. Qing Long said with a frown. Yeah, the interval between placing their pieces was less than 2 breaths. When one of them placed his piece, the other followed. So many pieces have been placed in such a short time. Bai Long was also surprised. Don't worry. Mo Yushi said lightly. However, Mo Yushi's clenched fists told Mo Yushi what she was worried about. Buzz. A huge flower suddenly appeared on the huge chessboard in the void. Mr. Monroe has formed the image of a chess piece. Is he done with his setup? Rosefinch's expression changed. Countless shouja in all directions looked at the huge flower. Envy flashed in their eyes. Life chess. Mr. Monroe's chess game is full of vitality. She said worriedly. Hum. More and more flowers bloomed on the illusory chessboard formed by the floating island. The flowers bloomed one after another, as if they were covering the entire chessboard. Mr. Monroe's chess game is still so elegant. Flowers. Vitality blooming. In the Julu Academy, only the great scholars can do that, right? Chapter 4:14. In the previous games, when the flowers bloomed all over the chessboard, Mr. Monroe won completely. What is that kid playing? The floating island cloud platform can show the chessboard's artistic conception, but he hasn't shown anything yet. It seems like he can't win. That's for sure. How can he beat Mr. Monroe? A lot of disdainful comments came from all directions. She was getting more and more worried. Wang. Flowers bloomed one after another. Mr. Monroe seemed to have completely suppressed Yan Chuan, but he didn't feel happy at all. Instead, he became more and more serious. On the contrary, Yan Chuan, who seemed to be at a disadvantage, smiled slightly. Mr. Monroe, you were careless. Mr. Monroe's eyes narrowed as he looked at the chessboard. Let's continue. Mr. Monroe insisted. You shouldn't have given up in the beginning. The more you struggle, the more painful it is. Yan Chuan laughed. Mr. Monroe looked at Yan Chuan and smiled bitterly, but he still shook his head and continued to persist. Buzz. The flowers were still blooming, and they had covered most of the chessboard. It seemed like Mr. Monroe was going to win completely. Holding a white piece, Mr. Monroe looked at the chessboard quietly, as if he couldn't make a move. This game is too flashy. Can you see the countless murderous intentions behind the flashy moves? Mr. Monroe, although you and I haven't interacted much, I can see that you are a man of great wisdom. Can't you see the murderous intentions behind the flashy moves? The Dazhao Holy Land doesn't suit you. This is not a place where you should stay. Yan Chuan said softly. Mr. Monroe raised his eyebrows and looked at Yan Chuan. Was there a hidden meaning in Yan Chuan's words? Your talent didn't win the respect you deserved in the Dazhao Holy Land. Time after time, you were only used. Although it was flashy, it was all an illusion. Can't you tell? Yan Chuan asked. Mr. Monroe frowned and looked at Yan Chuan. Finally, he shook his head and smiled bitterly. I appreciate Prince Yan's kindness, but there are many things that are beyond my control. Pa! The chess pieces continued to fall. I'm just reminding you. Everything is still up to you. Yan Chuan stopped trying to persuade him. At this point, it would be annoying if she continued to insist. She just needed to show her attitude to Mr. Monroe. Buzz! Flowers gradually bloomed all over the chessboard. How's my chess compared to Yifeng's? Mr. Monroe asked as he placed his chess piece with difficulty. It's a different concept. He's playing chess like he's laying out a grand scheme. You're showing off when you play chess. Yan Chuan laughed as he placed his chess piece down. Show. Delicate, beautiful. Although delicate, it's full of vitality. Although I don't know why you're in the Dazhao Holy Land, I can see that you're putting all your eggs in one basket. You'll be miserable if you only attack and don't defend. Yan Chuan shook his head and sighed. Oh. It just so happens that the black pieces I placed are on the path of the undercurrent. They're murderous and lifeless. Feel it. Yan Chuan placed down another piece. Pa! A piece was placed. Phew. On the huge virtual chessboard, a huge flower suddenly withered. Look, what's going on? The flower withered. Ah, it's not just that one flower. One flower after another is withering. What's going on? Isn't Mr. Monroe going to win? Amidst the exclamations of the surrounding cultivators, Mr. Monroe lost again and again. Withered, one flower after another is withering. Chapter 4:15. Immortal City. City Lord's Mansion. Ziwen, you bastard, what were you doing just now? Pointing fingers in front of me? Making me lose face in front of you, she. Yang Zigu scolded Ziwen angrily. Ziwen of the Northern Mo Palace returned with a belly full of anger. He was prepared to slowly digest this humiliation. He didn't expect Yang Zigu to chase him all the way here and be so aggressive, constantly scolding and criticizing him. There were many familiar faces in the City Lord's Mansion's main hall. How could he not give him any face in front of so many people? Ninth young master, don't go too far. Ziwen gritted his teeth and said angrily. Ziwen, an emptiness realm expert, was humiliated in front of everyone by a Qi realm expert. He couldn't calm down and was even angrier. Go too far. Do you dare to touch me? I'll go back and tell my father to destroy your body and soul. Do you believe me? Yang Zigu said coldly. Ziwen clenched his fists. He was really powerless in front of Yang Zigu. Who asked Mohina Dojin to spoil him? Enough. A voice sounded in the main hall. Guyu Holy Sun looked at Yang Zigu with an ugly expression and said, Lao Jiu, Ziwen is my attendant. It's not up to you to criticize him. Yang Zigu turned his head and looked at Guyu Holy Sun, who was at the north of the main hall. Guyu, don't pretend to be big in front of me. So what if you're a holy sun? I'm not afraid of you. Also, everyone in the main hall, listen up. Yang Zigu glanced at everyone in the main hall. All the cultivators in the main hall had ugly expressions. If anyone dares to cause trouble in the Northern Mo Palace, don't blame me for not being polite. Yang Zigu said coldly. All the cultivators in the main hall had cold eyes. Not being polite? Why aren't you being polite? The ancient moon Holy Sun said coldly. Yang Zigu sneered, I will ask my father to remove your immortal karmic titles. At that time, there will be someone to deal with you. As soon as Yang Zigu said this, the faces of all the practitioners turned extremely ugly, but no one dared to say anything. Then take mine too. Guyu Holy Sun said coldly. I can't touch you, but I can touch the people around you. I can make those followers of yours go to hell. Do you believe me? Yang Zigu acted shamelessly. You. Guyu glared at him, and a vicious aura flashed. You want to hit me? Hit me then. Father said that you are not allowed to bully me. If you hit me, I will tell father and let father deal with you. Yang Zigu said hatefully. The cultivators of the First Palace Hall and the Emptiness Realm expert of the First Palace Hall could do nothing to Yang Zigu. After all, he had a good father. The atmosphere in the hall became tense. Oh no. A practitioner outside the hall rushed into the hall. What's the matter? Guyu Holy Sun said coldly. Holy Sun, Mr. Monroe is going to lose. The practitioner said with an ugly expression. What? Guyu Holy Sun's expression changed. He ignored Yang Zigu and stepped out of the hall. Standing at the entrance of the hall, he looked up at the cloud platform not far away. Withering. The flowers on the virtual chessboard withered one after another. Their vitality was annihilated, and the aura of death surrounded them. Mr. Monroe's chess pieces were losing. On the cloud platform. Mr. Monroe's eyes were extremely serious. He grabbed a white chess piece and couldn't put it down. Let's draw. Yen Chuan said with a smile. Draw? Mr. Monroe suddenly looked up. Now, On the chessboard, the black and white chess pieces are equal. Let's stop here. Let's call it a draw. Yan Chuan smiled. Mr. Monroe looked at Yan Chuan in surprise. In the end, he said solemnly, I still have things to do in the Dazhao Holy Land, so I can't lose this game. Thank you very much. Chapter 4:16. When you're done, play another game with me. Yan Chuan said with a smile. Sure. Mr. Monroe said gratefully. The two of them stood up slowly. When they stood up, Qing Long immediately flew over. Let's go back. Yan Chuan said with a smile. Yes. Qing Long took Yan Chuan and flew away quickly. Mr. Monroe smiled and flew back to the mayor's mansion. Among the commoners below, a black-robed figure watched Yan Chuan leave. It's God's will, Yan Chuan. You actually came to the Immortal City. You even brought my compass. Just in time, TSK TSK, the black-robed figure said in a low voice. The mayor's mansion. Mr. Monroe looked at Guyu Holy Sun and said, Holy Sun, I didn't win. Yan Chuan. Him again. Guyu Holy Sun's eyes turned cold. Wen Ruo, aren't you a talent from the Julu Academy? You're proficient in zither, chess, calligraphy, and painting. He's just a nobody. You actually didn't win. Ziwen said coldly. Alright, Mr. Monroe tried his best. Although he didn't win, he didn't lose either. It's okay to leave Mo Yushi in the city. She's just a few people. She can't do anything big. Guyu Holy Sun comforted. Thank you, Holy Sun. Mr. Monroe nodded. Guyu Holy Sun nodded and looked coldly at Qing Long and Yan Chuan in the distance. North Mo Palace. This time, it's all thanks to you again. Mo Yushi said softly. It's nothing. You don't have to say that. Maybe I'll need your help soon. Yan Chuan said with a smile. Mo Yushi nodded without hesitation. You're so good at chess. Why don't you teach me? Mo Yushi asked expectantly. Alright. Meow, Dolly. Yan Chuan is obviously up to no good. Meow scolded. Pa. Mo Yushi reached out and stuffed a top-grade spirit stone into Meow's arms. Meow, Sister Mo is such a good person. Meow held the top-grade spiritual stone and jumped aside with a big smile. Qing Long and the others naturally wouldn't be so tactless as to disturb him. Yan Chuan and Mo Yushi were sitting inside Northern Mo Hall, playing chess against each other. This is the golden flame tea I obtained years ago. Try it. Mo Yushi poured a cup of golden tea for Yan Chuan. After taking a sip, Yan Chuan's brows furrowed for a moment before relaxing. It was as if all the pores on his body had opened. Good tea. It's immortal grade. Yan Chuan praised. That's good. Mo Yushi's eyes curved into crescents as she smiled. You've been here for some time, right? What kind of treasure has appeared? Yan Chuan asked curiously. No, we still have to wait for a while. However, I can roughly guess what it is. Mo Yushi said after some thought. Oh. Do you know about the past glory of the undying Holy Land? Mo Yushi said after some thought. I'd like to hear the details. 10,000 years ago, the undying Holy Land was the leader of all sects in the world. Its holy master was called Blade Demon. 10,000 years ago, he was the most powerful person in the world. Mo Yushi said. Blade Demon. 10,000 years ago, the most powerful person in the world. Yan Chuan said in surprise. Because not long ago, the emperor had inherited his father's will and become the new Blade Demon. Was it just one person? Yes. Rumor has it that several immortals who were about to ascend after their tribulation besieged the Blade Demon. We are in the mortal world, and the Immortal's cultivation is suppressed by the world. But even so, they were still at the peak of the Void Realm. However, those quasi-immortals couldn't even withstand a single blow from the Blade Demon. They were all killed cleanly. The most powerful person in the world lived up to his name. The undying Holy Land also became the leader of all sects. Mo Yushi sighed. Chapter 4:17. Ascended. Mortal World. Yan Chuan frowned slightly but did not pursue the matter. About 5,000 to 6,000 years ago, the undying Holy Land encountered something that caused it to completely collapse. I heard that the Blade Demon also fell in that battle. After the Blade Demon fell, some of the Tao Lords of the undying Holy Land also mysteriously disappeared. Mo Yushi narrated. Oh. My father was from the undying Holy Land back then. Mo Yushi thought for a moment and said in a low voice. Your father? Yan Chuan said in surprise. My father, actually. Mo Yushi bit her lips, not daring to say it. You can't say it. Don't force yourself. Yan Chuan smiled. Shaking her head, Mo Yushi stared at Yan Chuan for a while and said, My father is actually not human. Oh. Yan Chuan said in surprise. My mother is human, my father is a dark phoenix. Mo Yushi stared at Yan Chuan as if waiting for Yan Chuan's mood to change. Dark phoenix? No wonder your surname is Mo Yushi. Did your father not want you to forget your own honor? Yan Chuan praised. Don't you think I? Mo Yushi said worriedly. Ha ha ha, in my eyes, you've always been Mo Yushi, always. Yan Chuan nodded solemnly. Thank you. Mo Yushi's gloomy face blossomed into a brilliant smile. Why was your father in the undying Holy Land back then? Yan Chuan asked. Mo Yushi nodded and said, the undying Holy Land's guardian beast was the Phoenix clan. Before the undying Holy Land was destroyed, my father could only be here. Oh. Father once told me that under the ruins of the undying Holy Land, there were things that belonged to the Phoenix clan, and there were also treasures left behind by the undying Holy Land. But he didn't tell me in detail, and then. Mo Yushi's face revealed a trace of sadness. If there's anything belonging to the Phoenix clan, I'll try my best to get it for you. Yan Chuan said solemnly. Mo Yushi nodded, touched. The two of them sipped their golden flame tea as they placed their pieces. In the middle of the night, while they were chatting happily, Yan Chuan's eyes suddenly narrowed. Buzz! A powerful aura suppressed the entire northern Mo Hall. Who are you? How dare you barge into my northern Mo Hall? Qing Long suddenly shouted angrily outside the hall. Who? Mo Yushi also immediately stood up and guarded Yan Chuan as they looked towards the entrance of northern Mo Hall. His aura pressed out of the palace. Buzz buzz buzz. When the two forces collided, a series of oppressive sounds could be heard. Meow. Meow suddenly rushed into the palace and stood in front of Yan Chuan. There are 7 bad guys outside. Meow. Meow said worriedly. A hoarse voice came from outside the palace. Yan Chuan, I know you're here. Come out. Stop hiding. The voice was very hoarse and full of ridicule. 6 of them are Emptiness Realm experts. Mo Yushi said with an unsightly expression. Let's go out and take a look. Yan Chuan said in a deep voice. But. Mo Yushi said worriedly. Let's go. They definitely won't dare to do anything to you. That's why they haven't made a move yet. Since they haven't made a move, then everything can be discussed. Yan Chuan said with a smile. All right. But stay by my side. I'll protect you. Mo Yushi insisted. Yan Chuan nodded. Yan Chuan and Mo Yushi slowly stepped out of the palace. It was already late at night, but the moon was bright in the sky. 7 figures wrapped in black robes could still be seen. Qing Long and the other 3 coldly faced the 7 people and guarded the 2 people from Northern Mo Hall. Jijijiji, Yan Chuan, you came at the right time. One of the black-robed people laughed strangely. Chapter 418. Kik, Yan Chuan, you really came at the right time. One of the black-robed men cackled. Who are you people? Mo Yushi asked coldly. Holy Maiden of the Dazhao Holy Ground. TSK, I didn't recognize you last time. The black-robed man sneered again. Yan Chuan stopped Mo Yushi and smiled, so it's Poisoner. You can recognize me? Oh. You can recognize me too. The black-robed man was surprised. Back when you were beheaded by the Dugu Jianwang, I saw your corpse. Your heart was shattered. You're a feng shui master, so I knew you'd show up again. Yan Chuan smiled faintly. My voice has changed. How can you tell? Poison Master asked solemnly. Among the 7 of you, only you are surrounded by yin energy. You are clearly not from the Yang realm. And these people are. Yan Chuan looked at the other 6 black-robed men. Look who I am. One of the black-robed men suddenly took off his hood, revealing a cold face. Shinkun Kuroha. Yan Chuan narrowed his eyes. Kaka. Qing Long and Mo Yushi quickly moved to Yan Chuan's side to protect him. Shinkun Kuroha, the head of the Great Winged Heaven School. He had forced Yan Chuan's father to his death. He could be considered a major accomplice. It's really you. You were the one who ruined my plan in the feng shui formation. Shinkun Kuroha said coldly. As he spoke, a cold murderous aura shot toward them. Humph. Shinkun Kuroha, the Myriad Wonders Demon Lotus is in Mohina Dojin's hands. You still can't forget it. Mo Yushi said coldly. Hiding behind a woman. Ha, Yan Chuan, you can't even compare to your father. Shinkun Kuroha sneered as he looked at Yan Chuan. Yan Chuan smiled and said, it's none of your business whether I'm as good as my father or not. But you, the leader of the Great Winged Heaven School, are actually hiding your head and showing your tail? These people must be the elders of your Great Winged Heaven School. Shinkun Kuroha frowned. This immortal city is the city of the Dazhao Holy Land. You coming here today to force an abdication is the same as provoking the Dazhao Holy Land. As long as Lady Mo gives the order, do you believe that the enlightened masters of the Dazhao Holy Land in this city will definitely make all of you stay here? Yan Chuan said coldly. Mo Yushi said with a straight face, that's right. Meow. Meow also cried out arrogantly. I've already set up a formation outside. No one will notice. Poisoner sneered. Is that so? Poisoner, you've already lost your human body. Is your feng shui formation still as perfect as it was in the past? Yan Chuan said disdainfully. Poisoner snorted coldly. You have to remember that this is not the wilderness. This is the territory of the Dazhao Holy Land. It's not too late to leave now. Once we break your feng shui formation, it'll be an even bigger crime. Imprisoning the Saintess. This is completely provoking the Dazhao Holy Land. At that time, we won't even need to say anything. The heroes of the Dazhao Holy Land will raise your Great Winged Heaven School to the ground. Do you believe me? Yan Chuan sneered. Shinkun Kuroha snorted coldly. However, Shinkun Kuroha really didn't dare to make a move now. This was the territory of the Dazhao Holy Land. If he injured the Saintess after imprisoning her, the 3 Dao Lords of the Dazhao Holy Land would definitely not be merciful to him for the sake of the Dazhao Holy Land's prestige. Shinkun Kuroha, scram. Mo Yushi said coldly. Impossible. Unless Yan Chuan returns my things. Poisoner immediately shouted. What did I take from you? Yan Chuan said coldly. That silver compass. My compass. Return it to me. Poisoner shouted. Chapter 419. Ha 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 ha. The silver compass. Back then, it was yours. Now, it's not yours. Yan Chuan shook his head. Humph. You want to take what belongs to me? Do you believe that I won't kill you right now? Poisoner said coldly. Kill Yan Chuan. If you dare to make a move, I guarantee that none of you will be able to leave Immortal City. She said coldly. Did you hear that? Yan Chuan said with a faint smile. The situation of the crowd pressuring Yan Chuan's group seemed to have reversed in the blink of an eye. Good. Ha ha ha. Yan Chuan. Shinkuan Kuroha's eyes filled with a cold light. There is no need to look at me like that. I have no use for the silver compass. However, I cannot give it to you for free. Use something to exchange for it. Yan Chuan said with a faint smile. Huh? Shinkuan Kuroha and Poisoner felt slightly surprised. What do you want? Poisoner asked coldly. I don't know what you have. How about this? Your black robes look pretty good. Use this to exchange for it. Yan Chuan said with a faint smile. What did you say? The crowd's eyes turned cold. What's wrong? You are not willing. If you are not willing, then forget it. Yan Chuan shook his head. Whoosh. Shinkuan Kuroha tugged and took off the black robes. Then, he tossed them forward. There was still a gorgeous brocade robe under the black robes. Hence, taking off the black robes was nothing. Who? Aside from Poisoner, the others did the same, tossing out the black robes. He. Yan Chuan, we will remember today's humiliation. Poisoner said coldly. Quickly take them off. Otherwise, I will go back on my word. Yan Chuan shouted. How dare you? Shinkuan Kuroha and Poisoner shouted at the same time. Whether I dare or not depends on you. Yan Chuan looked at Poisoner with a smile. Humph. Poisoner snorted coldly. With a lift of his hand, the Poisoner also took off his black robe. He threw it on the ground. Poisoner was also wearing clothes, but inside the clothes was a skeleton. Its head was a skull that emitted a faint green light. Meow, so ugly. Meow scolded. Give me the compass. Poisoner said coldly. Yan Chuan smiled and slowly took out a compass from his bosom. Who? He threw it to Poisoner. Pa! Poisoner caught it. Am I right? Shinkuan Kuroha asked coldly. That's right. Poisoner nodded. Let's go. Shinkuan Kuroha said coldly. Everyone nodded and stepped into the sky. As they flew away, Shinkuan Kuroha turned his head and looked deeply at Yan Chuan, his eyes full of hatred. Whoosh! In the blink of an eye, the 7 figures disappeared from everyone's sight. Ha, young master, you're really amazing. Forcing them to take off their clothes. Rosefinch laughed and reached out to grab the spoils of war. Don't move. Yan Chuan suddenly shouted. Rosefinch was puzzled. Shinkuan Kuroha. Poisoner. Just for a compass, it seems that they must have something important to do now, and it must be related to the compass. She thought and said. That's right, using the compass, they must be in a predicament or have to set up a formation. Yan Chuan nodded. Then what are you going to do? She asked. Follow me. If possible, try to keep them here. Yan Chuan said in a low voice. Keep them here for what? Xuanwu asked curiously. Prince Yen means to keep them alive. Qing Long explained. Ah. These clothes are the key. Mo Yushi's eyes lit up. It will be useful. Don't touch it, just put it in a jade box. Yen Chuan said. Okay. After using magic to put the 7 sets of clothes, everyone quickly flew out of Northern Mo Hall and out of the city. Prince Yen, in the Immortal City, they don't dare to attack the Holy Maiden, but it's different once they're out of the city. What if? Rosefinch said worriedly. If you think so, Shinkun Kuroha and the rest must think so too, so they won't expect us to follow them. Yen Chuan said with a smile. More importantly, they must have encountered a difficult problem, or they must have met an opponent who can match up to them. Yen Chuan said in a low voice. The enemy of my enemy is my friend? Qing Long's expression changed. That's right, we can't act rashly, we just have to wait for an opportunity. Yen Chuan said in a low voice. Meow, Yen Chuan, you have a lot of bad ideas. Meow laughed. If you slander me again, I'll deduct your spiritual stones. Yen Chuan said with a straight face. Meow, Yen Chuan, you're really scheming and intelligent. You're the nemesis of evil, I'm proud of you. Meow. Meow immediately fawned on him. Pfft. Mo Yushi laughed again. Shinkun Kuroha and the rest left the Immortal City and put on their black robes again. Yen Chuan. Shinkun Kuroha said coldly. Yen Tao's vile spawn. We should have eradicated him back then. Sovereign, when this matter is over, I'll kill him. An elder said solemnly. Shinkun Kuroha nodded. Turning his head, Shinkun Kuroha looked at Poisoner and said, Poisoner, the compass has been found, are you confident? Don't worry, with the compass, it's enough to take down that feng shui master. In the East, no one can surpass me in feng shui techniques. Poisoner said with incomparable confidence. Is that feng shui master's body really suitable for you? Of course, it's better than my original body. Even if my previous body is still there, I want to get that body, the ethereal body. It's too rare. Poisoner said in a deep voice. And, once you get that feng shui master's body, immediately set up the array. The Lord has already sent word that we must obtain the relics of the Phoenix clan in the Immortal Sacred Land. Shinkun Kuroha said in a deep voice. Why didn't the Lord send some experts from the Phoenix people? Poisoner asked doubtfully. Phoenix people? The Dazhao Holy Land oversees the East, so the Lord must be careful. However, the Lord is a man of great talent and vision, he will conquer the world sooner or later. Shinkun Kuroha said in a deep voice. Everyone nodded. Outside the Immortal Sacred Land, in the forest. At the mouth of the mountain, several zombies stood straight. The zombies were expressionless, and in front of them stood a figure in a black robe embroidered with clouds. The black-robed figure chanted a strange incantation at the zombies. If Yen Chuan was here, he would have recognized this person at a glance. It was the feng shui master he had rescued in the Demon Wind Mountain Range, Feng Yinyang. Feng Yinyang chanted the incantation, and the zombies twisted their heads. Burrow into the ground and guard this place. Feng Yinyang said coldly. The zombies nodded respectfully. Ka ka ka. The zombies sank into the ground in the blink of an eye. Turning his head, Feng Yinyang looked into the distance. Death Chi. You're here again, you lingering things. Feng Yinyang looked into the distance coldly. You're tuning in to the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.